It's Uncle Remus, spinning his warm, funny stories.
Like, the manosphere been hijacked by fucking entertainers. Conservative entertainers, by the way.
JLA.
yo, Quantic, run them bands up. Hey, yo, Quantic, run them bands up. Quantic, run them bands up.
We about to fire this thing up. Uno momento. Just rock out a little bit longer. We're almost there.
JLY.
Hit that like button for me, y'all. Like the video. Throw a penny in the hat as you walk by. You know, I typed in the chat earlier today. I typed in the chat earlier that today is basically race day.
JLY.
What do I mean by that? Because of the events down in Texas, a lot of black people just, black YouTube, the black internet can't get past this one story. And there's a reason for that, because there's a story around the story. The incident itself is a one-off, but the story around the story never goes away. And the story is race, it's racial. And like I said earlier, I really try not to be like the rest of these niggas, man. I really be trying to be sometimes, the counter Negro. There are like two opposing forces in the melanated universe. There's the Negro and the counter Negro, the anti-Negro, really. And I try to be on the side of the anti-Negro. And that's kind of what I was thinking about today as I put the show together. I actually had this queued up for yesterday, but I really couldn't make it. I got you guys kind of head faked, honestly. We're really not going to talk too much about the Empire of Dust. I just really wanted an interesting thumbnail. That's really all I needed, was an interesting thumbnail. That being said, there is an entirely unrelated conversation to the Empire of Dust, but it sounds very much like the Empire of Dust, though. It's a corollary to the Empire. It really is, because the Empire of Dust, if you guys don't know, let me share the trailer with you guys. China is moving in as the new colonizer of Africa right now. And being the new colonizer of Africa, what they are doing is noticing a lot of what the old colonizers noticed. And I'm pretty sure they're not writing these in like, Western languages, but I'm pretty sure the Chinese are taking notes about their encounters with Africa and Africans and the general nature of things and just the spirit of how things work in that place. And what I found interesting is that for all the hate and the shade that people might want to give that kind of documentary or those people who make those observations and they dare talk about it openly or write them down in a book or whatever, what I find interesting is that today, what we are going to do, and big shout out to SKC, the Big Brother Coon, he doesn't really come around that much anymore, not on YouTube, but over on Rumble, SKC did a show recently, and he kind of found this conversation. He found the conversation, and I actually found both parts of it, and we're going to get into the both parts of it too, because there is a part one and a part two to why Africa will never develop. And I think it's interesting, and it's going to be the introduction to our larger, grander conversation. Because remember, today is race day. It's a Sunday, and it's race day. Happy race day, everybody! You might do race day every Sunday. I just thought about that. Maybe we could work out another theme for this channel here. We can have a race day every Sunday. Yeah, it's the Lord's Day. We can pray and then talk about racial things like God intended. Anyway, we're going to talk about why Africa will never develop. But we're not really going to rely on my witty conversation. My observations and my witticisms need not apply here. We'll just watch the little trailer, and you guys can get the general gist of where things are going to go. Before we move on, shout out to everybody in Rumble. Shout out to the Midwest Request with the $1 Rumble chat. He said, time to cross that line on the sand one more time. Yeah, once more into the breach. I don't know if these are the kind of conversations that got me demonetized the first time around, but damn it, I just can't go anywhere else and not be me. Everywhere I go, I gotta be me. Cover me, I'm going in, y'all. Shout out to D-Rock Den with the 199 Super Chat Hood. Did you say niggas? I did. I did say nig. I did. I absolutely said niggas. No apology, no commentary. I did. I said it, goddammit.
Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
I feel like most of today's show is going to be a little bit of emotional damaging. Before we get into it, there's something I want to read to you guys. Actually, I'll tell you what, we're gonna do it like this. I'm gonna take a sip of this ice cold beverage, and then we're gonna jump right into a post about magical thinking. Actually, it's an excerpt from a Polish author, Richard Kapinski. We're gonna check out Richard's quote from his book, The Shadow of the Sun, about reasoning and magical thinking in Africa. Yes, reasoning and magical thinking in Africa. And we're going to get to the Africa conversation in just a moment, but thank you guys for coming through. Appreciate each and every one of you pulling up that chair and joining us for another dive into whatever the hell it is we do over here. Like I always say, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it. You guys join me every time, and it's usually fun. Let's get right into it. You know what? I feel like we need a little bit of you mind if I give this thing some ambiance? You mind if I juice this thing up a little bit? There we go. Excuse me, gotta get myself together. Reason and magical thinking and evil wizards in Africa. Reason, magical thinking, and evil wizards in Africa. Suddenly, I heard rumors, steps, then, I'm sorry, let me start over. Suddenly, I heard murmurs, steps, then the rapid patter of bare feet. Then silence once more. I looked around, but at first saw nothing. After a moment, the murmurs and steps again. Then silence again. I began to study the features of the landscape. A clump of thin shrubs, several umbrella-shaped acacias in the distance, some rocks protruding from the ground. At last, I spied a group of 8 men carrying, on a simple stretcher made of branches, another man covered with a piece of cloth. They moved in a peculiar fashion. They did not walk in a straight line, but advanced furtively, creeping in one direction, then in another, maneuvering. They crouched down behind a shrub, looked about cautiously, and then scurried to the next hiding place. They circled, swerved, stopped, and started as if they were children playing some elaborate game of espionage. I observed their bent, half-naked silhouettes, their nervous gestures, the queer, stealthful behavior, until finally they disappeared for good behind a ridge, and the only thing around me again was the silent, clear, and violet night. As dawn drove on, I asked Sabuya if he knew the name of the people in whose village we had spent the night. They are called Amba, he said. Then after a moment, he added, Kabila Mbaya. This means roughly bad people. He did not want to tell me anymore. Here, one avoids evil, even as a subject of conversation, preferring not to step into that territory, careful not to call the wolf out of the forest. As we drove, I reflected upon the event I had inadvertently witnessed. The nocturnal drama, those puzzling zigzags and twists of the bearers, their haste and anxiety, concealed a mystery to which I had no key. Something was going on here, but what? People like the Amba and their kinsmen believe profoundly that the world is ruled by supernatural forces. These forces in particular, spirits that have names, spells that can be defined. It is that they inform the course of events and imbue them with meaning, decide our fate, determine everything. For this reason, nothing happens by chance. Chance simply does not exist. Let us consider this example. Sabuya is driving his car, has an accident, and dies. Why exactly did Sabuya have an accident? That very same day, all over the world, millions of cars reached their destination safely. But Sabuya had an accident and died. White people will search for various causes. For instance, his brakes malfunctioned. But this kind of thinking leads to nowhere, explains nothing. Because why was it precisely Sabuya's brakes that malfunctioned? That very same day, all over the world, millions of cars were on the road and their brakes worked just fine, but Sabuya's were not. Why? White people whose way of thinking is the height of naivete will say that Sabuya's brakes malfunctioned because he failed to have them inspected and repaired in good time. But why was it precisely Sabuya who failed to do this? Why that very same day, a million, etc., etc.? We have now established that the white man's way of reasoning is quite unhelpful. But it gets worse. The white man, having determined that the cause of Sabuya's accident and death was bad brakes, prepares a report and closes the case. Closes it. But that is precisely now that the case should begin. Sabuya died because someone cast a spell on him. This is simple and self-evident. What we do not know, however, is the identity of the perpetrator, and that is what we now must ascertain. Speaking in the most general terms, a wizard did it. A wizard is a bad man, always acting with evil intent. There are two types of wizards, although our Western languages do not differentiate adequately between them. The first is more dangerous, for he is the devil in human form. The English call him witch. Again, that was an excerpt from a Polish author's book, Richard Kapuscinski, excuse me, from Polish names, The Shadow of the Sun, about reasoning and magical thinking in Africa. Give me a moment here. Let me scroll back for these super chats. Appreciate you guys. Let me check out what you guys have been talking about here. American Man with the $2. That didn't last long. Welcome back, Master Hood. Hey, look, I am still a good boy, damn it. I am still a good boy, all right? I don't know what you're talking about.
Toby be good nigga for massa. Good nigga. Don't send Toby away.
All right, I's a good boy. I don't know what this American Man is talking about. YouTube algorithm gods, don't listen to him. He's a crazy Negro. Shout out to Big Time with the $5 Rumble chat. You should read the book Negroes in Negroland, which was written in 1865. Thank you, Big Time. And I am aware of the book Negroes in Negroland. I haven't read it, obviously. It's a difficult book to get one's hands on. But I will tell you this. I am not unfamiliar with Negroes in Negroland. And it is shocking the first time around. Let's put it like that. It's not for the faint of heart pro-black reader. It's definitely a shock to the system. But we were talking about and thank you everybody. Appreciate you guys coming through. Hit that like button as you make your way into the show. Like I said, today is race day. I expect to go into a pretty long overtime show today. So we're going to be here for a while. We're going to be, we're going to go back to Africa in a little bit first, because we got to talk about the motherland where we had it all worked out.
Wait, what? Great. Now, what's our motto? We was kings. We was kings!
Oh, you can download the PDF? Okay, well, I might look into that. But shout out to Big Tom. Thank you for the $5 super chat, bro. Magical thinking. That was the point we left off on, right? Magical thinking. Because Negroes think magically. And I believe white supremacy is basically the witch. It is the bad magic that Negroes believe in. We're not really, we don't worship the bush spirits anymore. We don't, it's not an evil spirit from the dark African continent. We have our own magic, our own dark evil spirit, and it's white supremacy. And yeah, like I said, magical thinking.
Would you describe Baltimore as a safe city?
What's your definition of safe?
I'm asking you, is Baltimore a safe city? Is it the kind of city that you would want to raise a family and maybe go jogging in without having to be worried about being murdered or raped?
I grew up in Baltimore. My family is in Baltimore. My mother still lives in the same house in West Baltimore.
Is it a safe city?
60 plus years, so the answer is definitely yes.
You think Baltimore is a safe city?
Of course it is.
Okay, do you know what the homicide rate is in Baltimore?
Now, why would this man, he was brought here allegedly to represent, I don't know, the city of Baltimore. He probably represents the city to some official capacity, right? He's an authority of some kind. Why would you, in your God's green mind, why would you ever, why would you lie like this, bro? Why would you lie? I mean, you could at least be like, Baltimore has problems like any other big city. I'm not gonna say that it's the safest city in the world, but it's not the worst place in the world. Like, you be honest, but play up the thing. But he straight up lied, bro. He said Baltimore's perfectly fine.
Nigga, please.
Serious.
Exactly, no.
It's about 35 per 100,000. Do you know what the homicide rate is in the rest of the United States?
No, I don't.
I can tell you that the homicide rate in Baltimore is about 5 times the national average.
Stupid white man numbers. Stupid white man numbers. Don't you know we don't do white man numbers when we're trying to solve black problems, okay? This is how we solve black problems.
Give me God, give me wife, give me children, give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, give me, kill my enemy, give me. Anyone that doesn't want me to succeed, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire. Give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, give me that, give me this, give me die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire.
These stupid white man numbers. You don't know anything, white man.
Do you know how Baltimore's robbery rate compares to the rest of the United States?
At the moment, no, I don't.
You don't. It's about 8.4 times the national average. Do you know how Baltimore's assault rate compares to the national average?
No, I don't.
It's about 3.4 times higher. Does that sound like a safe city to you?
Safe to me and my family members.
So that's safe to you? 30.
That is safe to him. A number that is 5 to 35 times higher. Let me go back and hear those white man numbers. Forgive me. I just, you know, I was mocking the white man's numbers, but those are some drastic numbers though, man. Wow.
Exactly, no.
It's about 35 per 100,000. Do you know what the homicide rate is in the rest of the United States?
No, I don't.
I can tell you that the homicide rate in Baltimore is about 5 times the national average. Do you know how Baltimore's robbery rate compares to the rest of the United States?
At the moment, no, I don't.
You don't. It's about 8.4 times the national average.
So the murder rate, the homie rate is 5 times higher. The robbery rate is 8 times higher. So you're 5 times more likely to die, and you're 8 times more likely to at least get robbed. I wonder what the combination of those, like, what's the rate for getting robbed and homie? Like, what if they take your money and leave you there? Like, man, those numbers are probably retarded. But anyway, speaking of numbers, shout out to my man Big Time with the $10 super chat. Baltimore has the 3rd highest school budget in the country. Yeah, that's true. 1.7 billion, 22K per student. Yet by 3rd grade, half of the kids can't read or perform math at a grade level. You know what that means, right?
Give me God, give me wife, give me children, give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, give me, kill my enemy, give me. Anyone that doesn't want me to succeed, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire. Give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, give me that, give me this, give me die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire.
I mean, how else do you solve that problem, bro? I don't know what else to do. You either got to give them what they want or you got to get these kids up out of here. I don't know. I'm glad I don't live there. I'm never going back, by the way. Matter of fact, I got to, damn. Every now and then when you're driving down south, you kind of have to drive through there, but that's the only time. That's the only time. Not going there. Shout out to Big Time with the $10 super chat. Hit that like button for me, y'all. Be like Big Time. Smash that super chat button for me, y'all.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls.
Do you know how Baltimore's assault rate compares to the national average?
No, I don't.
It's about 3.4 times higher. Does that sound like a safe city to you?
Safe to me and my family members.
So that's safe to you? 5 times higher than the national average for homicides. That's a safe city?
Perception.
It's what, excuse me?
I said it's what for instance, it's perception. It's what you feel as a resident in Baltimore City.
If you're murdered, I don't.
Free Zone says, I'd rather live with a pack of wolves than Baltimore. Ironically, the pack of wolves is probably the safest way to live in Baltimore. Like, actually bring a pack of wolves, like some real Arctic Yukon wolves. Don't get none of those lab bred wolves. They be genetically engineering new wolves and stuff. I heard they brought back the dire wolf. Don't get the new genetically modified ones. You get a real thoroughbred wolf from the Yukon, about 4 of them, and you can walk up and down North Ave all you want in the daytime. Now they're gonna shoot your dogs at night.
I don't think it matters what you feel, do you? Is it your testimony that the safety
Baltimore City
depends on how
city.
People feel?
To me, Baltimore City is a safe city.
To you, it's a safe city. I don't think it's safe to the people who are being murdered every single weekend there.
Yeah, if your town, if your city, in Baltimore, geographically speaking, it's not a very big town. You know, you can drive from one side of the city to the other in like less than an hour, maybe. And you might die on your way though, and so it's hard for me to describe that as a safe environment. There's like small town diameter with big town hammy rates, man. It's a wild place. But magical thinking, right? Magical thinking. You know, something occurred to me in the last couple of days as I was listening to the black internet commentary around the Austin Metcalf thing and the Carmelo Anthony defense squad. And I guess the word for it would be magical thinking. You know, we are creating entire narratives and concepts. You know, it's reality warping capabilities, like a superhero character. You know, and I hear a lot of Black America effectively reality warping in order to defend the kid, and it's occurring to me that you know, a lot of the Black folk, they just operate with what we just described as magical thinking, reading that excerpt from the Polish author. And more magical thinking.
What is the #1 cause of Black death in Chicago?
Are you serious?
Other Blacks killing Blacks.
Are y'all saying other Blacks?
Yes.
Other Blacks?
No, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. What's the #1 cause of death of Blacks in Chicago?
Where's your substantial evidence?
It's right there, dude. It's the real-time vetted
Where
crime.
does it say it? Where does it say that it's African American? Look at the map.
It says right there.
Where does it say that it's African
Scroll down. It
Americans
shows
doing
by
this?
race actually there.
Are you just seeing that it's
No.
people being killed, or are
Tell
you
me.
saying that it's African
Right there,
Americans?
by race. Right there. Boom. Owned. Who is killing them?
Who is killing African Americans?
Yes.
People are killing people.
No. What race is killing them?
Why are y'all trying to act like African Americans are just solely murdered? People.
Why are you putting this magic on me? Do not put this bad spell on me. This wicked, wicked magic. Evil white man magic. No, I will not accept this evil white man magic. Shout out to my man Ivan with €5. Black gang members attract too much attention with violent crime. The best criminals are the ones nobody knows exist because they don't disturb civilians. Yeah, largely true. Largely true. This is why, as I do the compare and contrast, I don't like to talk about bigging up the gang world at all anyway, but if you got to compare it, like this is our perfect example. When that rapper guy got arrested recently over, not a rapper, he's like a producer or whatever. He was doing all the shows like No Jumper and stuff like that. And he got taken down in some big gang thing. And it's like, all he seemed to do was extort and, you know, clip a few people here and there. It's like, you know, you had all this positioning. You could have done so much more. Even being a criminal underworld figure, all you want to do is bully and rob? Like, come on, bro. You have no imagination for the position you hold. You don't deserve to be a criminal. You know what other guys would have done in that? They would have made movies. They would have had bills and stuff passed where they could have gotten a little bit of money on the side. They would have had a whole team of employees getting fake paychecks, working up, showing up at film studios. What you want to bully a director on the street in front of everybody. Like, it was such a weird thing, and people were all kind of like celebrating. And I'm just like, this is such tacky criminal behavior. I expect better from criminals. I really do. And I don't know why I do that. I shouldn't expect that, right? Because believe me, I know. Believe me, I know. I know what the black criminal world presents and produces. And the Michael Jordans are a million. They're the big Meeches are 1 in a million. Big time with the 20 ball. It's impossible to take a group of people seriously whose music brag about unaliving people, selling drugs, G's up, 304s down, take shit, get hit. Yet when asked by white people why so violent, they act offended. Yeah, I've noticed that too. It's a thing, bro.
What exactly did black people ever do?
What did we do for white people to hate us so much?
Like, I'm genuinely asking, what did we ever do to deserve anti-blackness in every single community?
Perfect example, big time. Let me tie these two things together. What did we do, right? You just named some of the things that other people notice, right? Let me point something else out. Right now on the black internet, the general sentiment from Black America is, if you touch me at all, I get to stab you in the heart. If you touch me at all, I get to put this knife in your chest. And a lot of Black America, at least on the internet, they're like, yeah, serve them right. Damn right. Don't touch me. I'm like, bruh, this is why we racism.
Blacks killing blacks.
Are y'all saying other blacks?
Yes.
Other blacks?
No, prove me wrong.
And big shout out to Big Time with the 20 ball. Thank you for supporting the show, bro.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry. You not like Hulk angry. Hulk no like fighting girls.
And we got a new member to the show. Shout out to You Ain't Wrong. You are now a cardinal in the Church of Misogyny. Welcome to the gang. We are building the plane while we're flying it, and I apologize. I have not worked out an appropriate membership entry video drop. I just haven't found the right thing yet, but we're working on that. But shout out to You Ain't Wrong, becoming a member of the channel. Appreciate you guys coming through. I knew Race Day would bring out all the people. Everybody wants a piece of Race Day. No matter what side of the argument you land on, everybody wants to get in on Race Day. I don't know what's wrong with you guys.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Shout out to You Ain't Wrong, a new cardinal in the Church of Misogyny. Appreciate you, bro. Pull up a chair. We are not even halfway started yet. We got so much ground to cover. I can't even pull up all the windows I need to open. I got to do this show in sections. I might have to take a 5-minute break or something and come back with a whole new chapter of content.
Prove me wrong. What's the #1 cause of death of blacks in Chicago?
Where's your substantial evidence?
It's right there, dude. It's the real-time vetted
Where
crime.
does it say it? Where does it say that it's African American? Look at the map.
It says right there.
Where does it say that it's African
Scroll down. It
Americans
shows
doing
by
this?
race actually there.
Are you just seeing that it's people being killed? Or are
Tell
you
me.
saying that it's
Right there, by
African-Americans?
race. Right there. Boom. Own. Who is killing them?
Who is killing African Americans?
Yes.
People are killing people.
No. What race is killing them?
Why are y'all trying to act like African Americans are just solely murdered? People are killing people.
You know, I noticed this thing pop up. This line of thinking pop up whenever it's a weird racial conversation that gets turned against black people. Whenever it's like something against black people, it's white supremacy, meaning there's a definitive bad actor and they're white. But whenever we point out something like the crime stats or the family formation stats, it's, it's people are killing people and everybody's doing it nowadays. Nobody ever wants to own the negative black stats, but when it's white stats, we want to point out, we want to capitalize the W.
No. What race is killing? Is it white people killing blacks or blacks killing blacks?
People are killing people, Charlie.
Okay, but hold on. What race is
You're
killing
saying
the other
what race is killing what race more? That does not matter.
It does matter because it's a black-on-black problem.
It's a
and
black
blacks need to solve the problem of black-on-black violence.
Is it a black-on-black problem or is it a crime problem?
What if it's more than a black-on-black problem? What if it's a black-on-black-on-white problem? Yeah, I know. Think about it. Think about it. Slow it down. Roll it over. We start from the beginning. What if it's more than a black-on-black problem? What if it's a black-on-black-on-white problem? It's too hard. It's too many. It's too difficult. Never mind. I don't want to think about it no more.
It's a black-on-black problem that is a crime problem. Somehow, if it was a black-on-black problem, it's a crime problem. It's systemic injustice. That the police have not enough funding.
Saying, these races might have a easier time with policing, and they're going to have nearly response time of 2 seconds.
Wait, it's the police's fault that so many blacks are killing other blacks?
Who just said that?
You did.
I said that?
Yes. No, but
please.
I want you to tell me, why is it that black Americans are 13% of the population, yet they commit 55% of the murders?
Damn. And yeah, we revived the 1350 number over the years. 5-10 years ago, 1350 was all the rage. All the memes had 1350. All the cool kids, when you walk down the hall, you hear them talking 1350. It was all over. We had to revise the numbers. Now it's 1355. You niggas have upped the numbers, right? You niggas have upped the numbers. 1350 wasn't enough. We needed that extra 5 to let niggas know we was really serious about this work. Black folk get active, and we want people to know it. 1355. All right, we had to recalculate the numbers. It was a couple of bodies that they didn't notice before, and now they came back and added those bodies to the count. Shout out to Big Tom with the 5 ball. Same for slavery. Blacks say slavery against them was the worst, and white people say everyone had slavery. That is true. That is true. Slavery low-key built the world. I mean, look, there might have been, aliens, and there might have been giants, and we might have had crazy giant technology to move stuff around. We might have had all that too, right? But let me tell you, let me try something out, right? If you want to build an impossible project with giant megalithic 8-ton, 12-ton blocks of stone, try infinity slaves. I'm telling you, there's nothing like infinity slaves if you want to get a job done. If you just really want a thing done, infinity slaves is basically how the world used to work, all right? There was no problem that infinity slaves couldn't handle. And I'm just saying that back in the day, everybody wanted to have infinity slaves.
Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Everybody must eat! Yes!
I haven't said if Martians here, they would have been slaves too. Hey, listen, I can't wait until we go out into the universe and actually conquer the galaxy. That's the one thing that would unify America. It's like Starship Troopers. We could get the whole world on board if we just found some other people that we could all oppress, but out in space though. We could really listen, racism is the cure. I'm trying to tell you this shit. If we actually went out into the universe and found some beings that we could oppress, we could unify in our global Terran racism, and we could just conquer the globe, or the galaxy rather. We could just go from planet to planet, conquering and taking shit over, building Burger Kings and Starbucks and stuff like that. Albert says, I would like to know more. All right, we're getting a little too happy. We're getting off track here. We're getting off track. We're focusing on Africa. I got a little too happy. I started dreaming. Forgive me. I started dreaming.
Wait, it's the police's fault that so many blacks are killing other blacks?
Who just said that?
You did.
I said that?
Yes. No, but
Girl,
no,
please.
I want you to tell me, why is it that black Americans are 13% of the population, yet they commit 55% of the murders?
Where can you show me that?
Again, anyone near you can
ChatGPT
show you the
has shown
stats, right?
proven
It's
data
right
that
there.
is-
Look. Man.
Let's read it. 70% of offenders were African American. Wait.
Are more racist to niggas than white people have ever been. We'll say like Black Lives Matter, but then if somebody say White Lives Matter, we be like, what you mean? What? It's like what we don't see that we make it seem like we the only people that matter on this planet, and that's a problem because then we start to see that other people go through things too, but only our problems is the most important based off what they say, slavery, all that stuff. But everybody been through things, and not to say that we haven't been getting a end of the stick, but the problem is that the
You know what I find interesting about this clip, and I'm going to start it over. I know I was muted up for a second. Just forget everything you never heard me say anyway. Focus on the look of the other black men in this room. This one guy, I mean, he does kind of look like a black wizard. Not going to lie. He looks like a magical Negro. And maybe that's what it takes. Maybe it really does take a magical sort of Negro to break through the veil. But he looks just a tad magical. But look how the rest of these niggas are just, they got like daggers in their eyes as the magical Negro is like, I guess he's casting a spell.
Are more racist to niggas than white people have ever been. We'll say like Black Lives Matter, but then if somebody say White Lives Matter, we be like, what you mean? What? It's like what we don't see that we make it seem like we the only people that matter on this planet, and that's a problem because then we start to see that other people go through things too, but only our problems is the most important based off what they say, slavery, all that stuff. But everybody been through things, and not to say that we haven't been getting a end of the stick, but the problem is that the end on the stick only worked because we took it. Because that's the thing, if we come together and stay a family is the greatest weapon against the system. Because when you together in the household, what can they do? They can't do nothing. So when women chose that end of the stick, which is like that low income housing, and to kick the man out, that was a choice. You actually better if that man there because
I'm not sure if that's a hat or some kind of hair. This nigga got a hair sculpture, bro. He got like a hair sculpture. You know what level of black wizardry you got? You got to at least be like a 4th level black dark wizard to get like a hair sculpture. I told you this nigga was magical, bro. You see his big earrings? Like I knew he was a man. That's why they looking at him like this. This old magic ass mom.
And stay a family is the greatest weapon against the system. Because when you together in the household, what can they do? They can't do nothing. So when women chose that end of the stick, which is like that low income housing, and to kick the man out, that was a choice. You actually better if that man there because a man is more of a benefit to you than the government. But they wanted to be independent. That was a choice. And you know, although people say it's a system thing, yes, but the system only works based on the cooperation of the people. If we say, no, I'm good, I'm gonna keep my man. No, I'm good, I'm keeping my woman. They didn't put a gun to our women head and tell them to choose a low income housing over us.
Yeah, he's just too magical. And he was spitting that game. But he like, all I see is a magical Negro with big hoop earrings and shit. I don't know. I don't know, man. These magical Negroes everywhere, bro. Negroes and magic, man. I tell you, Negroes love the magic, bro. It's something about Negroes and the magic. We gotta hear a word from my YouTube uncle.
The simple retort, racism is not serious, as if disparities have nothing to do with behavior, with cultural patterns, with what peer groups value, with what parents insist upon, with how people spend their time, with what they identify as being critical to their own self-respect. Who could believe that? Anyone who thinks so is a fool. Asians are said here in the United States sardonically to be a model minority. Well, as a matter of fact, a pretty compelling case can be made that culture is critical to their success. Don't take my word for it. Read Jennifer Lee and Min Zhou's book, The Asian American Achievement Paradox. There, they interview Asian families in Southern California trying to find out how these kids get into Dartmouth and Columbia and Cornell and Princeton and Harvard in such high rates. And what they find is that these families do, in fact, exhibit cultural patterns, embrace values, adopt practices, engage in behaviors, and follow disciplines that orient them and their children so as to facilitate human development, which then manifests itself in terms of academic excellence. It defies common sense as well as the evidence to assert that they do not, or conversely, to assert that the paucity of African Americans here in the United States performing at the very top of the intellectual spectrum. I am speaking here about excellence and about the low relative numbers of Blacks who exhibit it, as if that has nothing to do with the behavior of Black people, that the outcome is due entirely to institutional forces. That, frankly, is absurd. Again, I maintain that nobody could really believe it. Neither does anyone believe that 70% of African American children being born to a woman without a husband is either a good thing, nor do they believe that it's due to anti-Black racism. They say it, but they don't believe it. They are bluffing.
What if they really do believe in magic? I don't know. I want to believe that the Negroes are bluffing, but I'm willing to believe that there's a lot of magical thinking Negroes in the world, and that kind of explains the crime rates as well.
Tonight, a man pulled a gun on employees of a local restaurant who refused to give him the Wi-Fi password. That man is now facing several charges against him.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live in Cobb County tonight. Denise, police caught up with him rather quickly.
Yeah.
What if he doesn't believe he's actually wrong? What if he only sees white people have Wi-Fi? I want Wi-Fi. I should have Wi-Fi. I make her give me Wi-Fi. Now I have Wi-Fi. I'm happy. Life is good. And then white people come to tell me I can't have Wi-Fi. What if he really does think magically? What if magical thinking is not all that uncommon?
Yeah, he didn't get very far. Police say the employees at this restaurant who had the gun in their faces called 911. Officers raced over here, and when they got here, they found the man just across the street at this hotel.
The suspect was denied access to the Wi-Fi. He took it to extreme levels.
Cobb County police say this man, Zakor Garrett, was so angry he couldn't get access to the Wi-Fi, he took it out on the employees working the drive-thru at this Chipotle on South Cobb Drive.
The suspect decided to escalate the situation and brandish a firearm and began pointing it at employees.
When officers showed up, they found Garrett across the street.
I didn't even know Chipotle has free Wi-Fi. I just learned something. I didn't even know you could get Wi-Fi with a burrito. That's dope.
At this hotel, investigators say he had tossed the gun in a trash can.
This firearm actually came back stolen out of Atlanta. This guy probably knew that the police were on their way and likely just discarded of it because he knew he wasn't supposed to have it.
Garrett was taken into custody, but his anger still simmered. Police say while officers were trying to adjust his handcuffs, he punched one of them.
The suspect swung at the officer, striking him, causing minor injuries.
And while in the back seat of the patrol car, he kicked out a camera. And again, police say it all started with him not being able to connect to the Wi-Fi.
We're living in tough times. Ever since the pandemic, people are losing more screws.
I think especially in Atlanta lately, they pull out guns and do some crazy things. That is absolutely insane. We're not required to have Wi-Fi.
And in addition...
Why can't he have Wi-Fi? Why can he not have Wi-Fi? What's wrong with him having Wi-Fi? What's wrong with you that you won't let him have Wi-Fi? He should have Wi-Fi. He should get him some Wi-Fi. I don't know why you wouldn't let him have Wi-Fi. Evil white people, I tell you, evil, evil white people.
At the home of Ernest Hart in Southeast. This as his family tries to cope with his sudden and violent death. 17-year-old Ernest Hart, murdered last night at a party in what they say was a dispute over a piece of chicken.
My brother died on my lap, and I couldn't do nothing about it.
The family tells the story this way. Last night there was a cookout in the Hillside Road neighborhood.
Everybody knows how sacred chicken is to the black community. Do I need to explain to you how sacred a piece of fried chicken is to the black community? He is not the first, nor will he be close to the last who's died for the sacred chicken.
About 10 to 20 people were there. Then came an argument. An argument over that piece of chicken. They say a man about 24 years old, a man that the Hart family knew, pulls out a knife.
No, I'm not feeling this right here. I'm not feeling this. Let me tell you what. This guy, and shout out to this this caring bystander here. He's just a guy trying to do a job. But the white man is putting way more care. The white man is sadder about this than the actual people involved. He's dramatizing the whole thing.
At the home of Ernest Hart in Southeast. This as his family tries to cope with his sudden and violent death. 17-year-old Ernest Hart, murdered last night at a party in what they say was a dispute over a piece of chicken.
My brother died on my lap, and I couldn't do nothing about it.
The family tells the story this way. Last night there was a cookout in the Hillside Road neighborhood. About 10 to 20 people were there. Then came an argument. An argument over that piece of chicken. They say a man about 24 years old, a man that the...
It probably was the white meat, David, because the white meat is the biggest piece of chicken. And I don't even like the white meat. You know, you can give me a chicken thigh. I can eat chicken thighs and legs and wings all day. But technically, the big piece of chicken is the breast piece. You know, that's the big giant. That's like almost a half a pound of meat right there. Like that's the man size plate right there. You know what I mean? That's the full service portion right there. So like I said, the chicken is a sacred, noble animal to the black community. If we had a flag, there would be a fried chicken drumstick on it. And I guess that two alpha males decided they wanted the last piece of chicken at the same time. It's a very unfortunate event when two black alphas clash over the last piece of chicken. Lucky there were no guns around.
Hart family knew, pulls out a knife and stabs Ernest Hart in the neck.
As man, all of us turned around, all we seen was blood just dripping from my little brother, and he fell to the ground.
But this whole argument started over
a piece of chicken.
Ernest Hart was one of...
Holy crap. You know what that just sounded like? He literally sounded like Austin Metcalf's brother who survived the whole incident. That is almost word for word the statement given by Austin Metcalf's twin brother.
In the neck.
As man, all of us turned around, all we seen was...
I mean, if you account for the accent and the Negro speak or whatever, he damn near word for word gave the same statement as Austin's twin brother. I just noticed that. It's weird.
As man, all of us turned around, all we seen was blood just dripping from my little brother, and he fell to the ground.
But this whole argument started over
a piece of chicken.
Ernest Hart was one of 8 children. Ernest Sr. is his dad. He says he knows the suspect. You know the guy?
Yes, I know him. He used to come in my house all the time.
Why would he kill your son?
Amazing. I know you did not say crisis actor. Y'all are here talking about the CIA. God, I wish the CIA. I would hope the Illuminati has better things to do than be messing around with niggas fried chicken, bro. You know how evil you got to be to run a fried chicken op? I mean, now that I say it out loud, they probably do shit like that. Now that you put that into the air, there probably is an Illuminati wing. There's just like 15, maybe 30 guys max, and they're just dedicated to corrupting the fried chicken industry. That's all they do is just dark chicken magic. That's all they do.
Like you go into the African drum language, which just white boys stole it and called it the Morse code. They took that same pulsation and rhythm, and now they call it the telephone. They took the same pulsation and rhythm, and now they call it a computer, which is nothing but an African drum. But if you don't attach people to the computer, you don't see it. So like you go into the African drum language, which just white boys stole it and called it the Morse code.
Yeah, white people, we want our Morse code, all right? I want reparations for Morse code, all right? You just gonna work that number out and then you add that to my reparations check when you work out the final tally. We on to you people, all right? I just want you to know we coming for our stuff, man. We are coming and we want what's ours. I want what's coming to me.
You're being used and you don't know it because you're too ignorant. And you have too much cognitive dissonance. Like I said last time, you operate on a serial level of cognitive dissonance because you don't know what it's like not to be number one. And the whole time, you ain't been number one, you've been poor. Sackler family, they saw that coming. Oh, no, we'll just call it the disease so we can keep that money flowing. Now, it's criminal when we on drugs. But guess what? Again, we bounce back. This is the jealousy. This is why everybody hates black people. Regardless of what our circumstances are and what we endure, we are experiencing joy. We gonna have a good time regardless.
We are experiencing joy. We are happy. That's why the white man, he's not happy with us. He hates us because we're happy. That's like when they used to say, don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
White people don't look like they're having a good time. And you know why? It's a fallacy. They understand it's a fallacy. The white supremacy is a fallacy. You're saying I'm supreme, I don't feel it. You're saying I'm supreme, and I don't see it. If you're so supreme, why is there a need to always push others down, to kick others down?
This feels like a lot of cope and projection. It really does. Like, all right, if black people are so empowered from the sheer internal greatness of our melanated cells, right? Because every cell in our body is covered in melanin, and the melanin gives us power. Why do we need stupid gimmicks like we need black teachers because I can't succeed if the teacher don't look like me, right? We need black placement in movies and power and positions of power because I can't imagine myself being that if I don't see it already. Like, just use your melanin, nigga.
Why? If I'm supreme, I really actually don't concern myself with people that are inferior to me. You know it in the back of your mind, it's a fallacy. Look what they do with the beauty standard. Keep white women sick. Because a white woman's idea of beauty is real thin with the titties.
Now, I gotta tell you, I do like the shape of a nice butt, but it's something I realized about that whole phenomenon of, the white man, he keeps the woman real thin. And I realized this is a function. This is a necessary function of white culture. And black men largely just can't pull this off. And I think black men criticize that from a point of weakness, but it's like this, right? White men still hold a little, they hold some position of leverage, at least socially, over white women. And so when white men tell white women you're getting fat, it hits harder. It cuts. Because as a white woman, your chances of getting like the top tier white man go down drastically if you're like overweight. They're you know, a little bit autistic about fat chicks, right? And it has a positive effect on the overall white female population. There are way more percentage-wise and just head count. There are way more skinny white girls than there are skinny black girls at every age level. And I thank the white man for calling these skinny bitches fat.
Ugh. Now, Kim Kardashian came through and hit y'all with the trick bag, but you can't achieve genetics through plastic surgery. Okay? Understand that. This is a history of addiction, a history of inbreeding. This is not the standard, guys, and we know that. And everybody else is starting to know that too. My standard is black women. I mean, you don't even got to go to the doctor. Huh?
Look, man, you see, of course, guys, that it almost goes hand in hand. Dudes who have these really off the wall racial criticisms and theories, they have to simp too.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
Go look at her grandma. She fine too. We have a host of problems, but their beauty standards is unachievable, and especially for us, we have to create our own beauty standards. Like, this is the thing. We're in a space. All right, cool. We understand what the play is. We're going to wipe our slate clean, and we're going to start building our own blocks. And if they come fucking with us, we're going to respond. We're going to respond. When we defend ourselves and they try to paint them as a villain, and we go support. We can't undo the situation. But
I don't even know what the hell this fat nigga talking about no more. But I think now is a good time, because he was talking about, getting our stuff together and fixing the community. He wanted to wipe the slate clean and act like none of these things that happened ever happened. And even if you were able to do that, you still have that problem of no matter where you go, there you are. Let's take a look at the Empire of Dust.
哎呀，工地上这个设备啊，这真的是损坏严重的很，尤其他们这个黑人开车这个，他们这个开车这个伤得很厉害。
When a black guy drives a truck, he does a lot of damage. Now, this is a documentary about the experience of a lot of the Chinese people who went into Africa to open up industries and whatnot.
其实在国内啊，大家把这车保存的好的，像3、4年的车都是最好的车，最青壮年的车，最好的。在这我们这车都是才2、3年的车，都已经都破烂不堪了。他这个操作，他这个他们这个黑人司机啊，他这个一起步啊就想飞。你看他一起步，那个车轮就在底下打转，他对这个车轮磨损也严重。他这个转这下子。 那这个跑公里，那都少跑好几百公里。哎，这他妈的笨的，真的是。
这个路的话是已经有在1954年了。
We kind of covered some of this when we talked about the documentary Africa Adios, and we watched the decolonization begin. For a lot of these African countries, what signs of good growth and development that are still left over are literally from the colonization era. And a lot of this documentary, it kind of talks about, well, there is a part in this documentary where the Chinese guy says flat out, you got left all these great things from before, and you never learned how to maintain any of it, and now everything's falling apart.
1954年那个僵尸之后，
那有50多年了。
50多年了，对。 50几56年，快56年。但是
那就是他们比利时人给你们修好以后，你们再没有铺过柏油的。
对，没有破过，没有人管那个事情。Avec lui, quand on parle, tu auras l'impression comme si on se chamaille. Non, c'est sa façon de parler. Il parle comme ça. C'est sa façon de parler.
我那时晚上有事，我那时晚上有些放。
He says, I also noticed there was sometimes fuel missing from the generator. These thieves make you angry. I love to drag them and beat them up in front of the other blacks. Ooh, that's how you fight crime. You got to make an example out of these Negroes. Or pay the police to do that. At first, we measured in liters. But when fuel started disappearing, we switched to centimeters.
量就量着高度，这高度是高度呗，高度。升的是刚6厘米是吧？每天下班时候给他量一下高度，你看这个。
They have to measure it at the end of each day.
还有昨天的。
And this kind of raises a deeply, deeply existential question. We raised this issue. Well, I've raised this issue previously on my streams, and it goes back to what we call the out of Africa theory. And it kind of ties into the whole, we was Kang's whole argument. And the whole idea of we was Kangs has become such a punchline at this point.
Wait, what? Rich, now what's our motto? We was Kangs? We was
Kangs! How is it that the people who claim to be the originators of civilization seem to be unable to replicate any level of the civilization that they claim was their greatest achievement? And it creates a really, really dark set of possibilities. And with that being said, we're now going to jump into the prime conversation that I gathered you here today for. Hit the like button, you guys. We are now going to jump right into, we're going to do this backward. This is a two-parter. We're going to start with part 2 because this is the part I really, really liked. But we might get to part 1 later. But like I said, we got a lot to talk about. We're going to do this, and then we're going to go back to some other things. And, I think I want to talk about Nick Fuentes and David and Jason Whitlock and some more racial things, because today is race day, and I want to talk more about it. But I feel like I can't really talk the way I need to talk about this until we get to Rumble. So you know what happens in about an hour or so, we're gonna end this whole thing on YouTube, and we're gonna take the whole show. And we're going to go to Rumble, a party over on Rumble. Be forewarned, but now we're going to talk about why Africa will not develop. And what's really interesting about this conversation and the series of conversations, because I believe this guy's channel is almost dedicated to having the difficult conversations that Black people globally are unaccustomed to having. And so a big, big shout out to Frank Zanu with the Zanu Project Rethink. I don't really know his personal resume. All I've learned so far is that he's a writer, and he's a motivational speaker, whatever that really means. But I like this kind of conversation. So I like where this is going. And no, Ian, Ian, sadly, we don't have a Cash App. I have a Venmo. And I have super chats. Ian, we got super chats now. I lost my Cash App, but I re-earned privilege into the super chat gang. So it's either Venmo, super chat, or Rumble chat. You can go to Rumble and you can do the Rumble chat thing, man. But either way, those are your options, buddy.
Hey guys, welcome to ZPR, ZANU Project Rethink. I'm Frank ZANU, and I'm in the studio today with two wonderful, wonderful students. One from Nigeria, one from Ghana, from the University of Bridgeport, members of the African Students Association at University of Bridgeport. And that also is my alma mater. So I'm really, really proud to have them in the studio to talk about our dear continent, Africa. I have Larry Bimpe, a computer science, from Ghana, and I have Eileen Obuka, a nursing student from Nigeria. So today they will not be talking about who has the best jollof rice. They'll be talking about who can make it here at ZPR. All right, so the topic I sent to the University of Bridgeport, which they are here for, I said, no black country on Mother Earth would ever develop or be industrialized.
He didn't just say Africa. Oh, God damn it. He didn't. I forgot to tell you. He didn't just say Africa. He said none of you niggas. All right, that's what really caught my eye. I forgot all about that. I totally forgot. I lost it. I buried the plot. This is what you never bury the lead, all right? But I buried the lead. He didn't just say why Africa will never be developed. He said none of you niggas. None of you niggas.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
And they said, I'm crazy. So welcome to the show. Who wants to take it first?
I'll start, and I want to say thank you for having us. The term developing, when you say development and countries developing, do you mean, in what aspect do you mean? Do you mean socially, economically, culturally? How do you mean develop?
So I came with a topic from what I keep hearing on social media. You know, I like to tune onto Facebook and just to see what is going on in my country, Benin, in Ghana, where I lived, in Nigeria, where I worked, just to see. And every time you tune in, regardless of which country, they are saying, our country must develop. We are not developed. We are underdeveloped. Tinubu is a criminal. So what they meant is simply, I spoke to two students from UB who said they were not even aware that their countries are not industrialized. I say there is no such thing as a developed country or underdeveloped country. I say there are two types of countries: industrialized, which means you've been able to tap all the four necessary resources to feed and guide and protect and provide for the people of that country, right? And that...
You mean all of the things that the white man provided during colonization? And I'm not going to say he provided all of those things to all of those people, but you had none of those things before.
We know NEPA can do, and Ghana Electric Power can't do either. So I meant in terms of the people who live in the country, the things they need, just like as you find. I've lived in America for 32 years, and my light has never blinked. So development means the physical development that people can have access to.
Yeah, if you live in America and your lights are blinking, it's because you did something wrong. Or you just didn't pay your bill. California had that rolling blackout thing for a little while, but then we found out it was just Enron screwing around with it. Like, it was literally a big scam.
Live and living.
Well, I don't agree with you. I don't think it's true that no black country will ever develop. I think it'll be more like they'll have a hard time. And I think it's mostly just because of the mindset. Because when you say develop, you're thinking about emulating, let me just use an example, emulating America. This is an example. But like, why are we so bent on becoming like America when we already have our own place?
Because we're number one. That's literally an inescapable reality. Even if it's not like America, if you want to be the best in terms of like first world nations, then the model is other first world nations. So if you're not going to be like America, well, you're going to be like Japan. I dare you to be like Japan. I dare you. America is making it easy for you, all right? Being like Japan, that's like nationalism on hard mode.
So like people want us to develop and like mud houses, for example. Those things are, will I say, dying off. So when you say develop, people want us to be like have those, well, I say skyscrapers and those machines when we already have things of our own. We already have something we can work on.
So you are.
I don't even know what you mean when you say that. What the hell does that even mean? This is why y'all can't develop, because you can't even communicate ideas properly.
Like mud houses, for example. Those things are, will I say, dying off. So when you say develop, people want us to be like have those, well, I say skyscrapers.
You ever seen a 5-story mud hut? You ever seen a mud hut taller than 2 levels? Like, I don't even know if you can go an extra level with a mud hut.
And those machines, when we already have things of our own, we already have something we can work on.
So your disagreement is that no, we are already developed.
No, I didn't say that.
So what are we?
I don't love this guy, Frank. Oh my God, look at her face. Why is she looking like that? This guy, Frank. Oh my God, why she look like that, yo? What is that, yo? Why your face look like that when he says, so what are we? Just the embarrassment. Like, I can tell you're fighting, you're choking down the internal embarrassment because the whole world is telling you how awesome you really are. Like the entirety of Western world, you would think the Western world exists to tell Black people how great we are.
We are absolutely winning right now. Absolutely. We have done more than change the conversation. We changed the balance of power in the federal government.
Yes. But what are we? What are we? That's all he asked her. Yeah. You all that talk, yo, but what are we though? And now she just looks stuck, bro. She looks stuck. This guy Frank is a beast with like the Frank questions. Frank is Frank.
Machines, when we already have things of our own, we already have something we can work on.
So your disagreement is that no, we are already developed.
No, I didn't say that.
So what are we? Industrially, what are we?
Industrially, underdeveloped.
Exactly.
I think when we...
Damn, it looked like he just broke her spirit. He just broke her spirit. Oh, God. Oh, God. Damn, I love this. He just broke a Black woman's spirit. Damn, you don't even get to see this that often. He just broke a Black woman's spirit. And she ate it too, because, you know, it was like a teacher-student dynamic here. And I like this. This is one thing about the African student culture. They don't pop off with their elders. They don't really get fly with their teachers or whatnot. And so he's allowed to respectfully break her mic and crush her spirit. And she just has to sit there with her fat girl spirit crushed and do some internal soul searching. She now has to do an internal audit because you're fat and you're wrong, bitch. You're fat and wrong.
Industrially, what are we?
Industrially, underdeveloped.
Exactly.
Underdeveloped. Yeah, I heard her dreams crushed too. And 5.1, I know. Oh my God. Listen, hearing dreams crushed with your headphones on, it's like a symphony.
I think when we...
But you're...
Not me. I just raise a question and I give you the room to prove me wrong. Yes, go ahead and then I'll come back to you.
I think when we consider development and talking about a developed country.
The young man, look, he sounds smart. He got his hair cut a couple of days ago. His voice is deep. He got the nice polo sweater on. All right, shit. He's about to get him. This is one of those good Negroes. He's one of those, I'm not like the rest of you Negroes. All right, he's about to get him. He's about to make Frank look stupid. He's going to prove that Black folk, we are just one conversation away from warp speed and watch this black guy get him. Go ahead, get him, young black guy.
Like you said, we emulate America. But would you consider China or Japan to be a developed country?
Japan is one of the first class countries.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you talked about developed countries, no one thinks of anything else rather than America
European country.
or European countries.
What?
No one, when you think of a developed country, what's the first country that comes to mind?
I mean, he literally said Japan is first class. And frankly, I kind of tend to agree. When it comes to technological advancement, China is kind of killing us right now. No cap. China is knocking us down when it comes to just the wide disbursement of technological comforts, right? Just think of it that way. In America, a lot of the stuff isn't even out yet. A lot of the things that China just has out, it's not really out yet. And China's having a little meme war with us online right now. I think iShowSpeed was just in China looking at all this cool stuff. You should see the dancing robots they put on display for them. Like they got a lot going on. And then Japan is Japan has kind of always been, let me not say always. Japan has kind of been a great nation for a long time, even pre-industrial. But at the same time, when it comes to like the industrialization, after the 70s, Japan seemed to just sort of take off. And so even though I rank America first for other reasons, when it comes to just civilized society and technological advancement, yeah, the Asian cultures are killing it right now.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I only know of industrialized countries.
Okay, well, when someone thinks of a developed country, usually
Not
they
a
think
developed
of
country. I'm correcting it by saying
industrialized.
industrialized is what people, they interchangeably developed. I mean, if I say to you, you're from Ghana, you said your country is not developed. Yes, you're right. So are Ghanaians developed?
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's subjective. The fact that you even differentiated it from being industrialized,
yeah, that's mine,
and developed, then it kind of becomes subjective because
so one is if you say your country is underdeveloped, I'll ask you, are Nigerians developed? Nigerians, the people.
How do you mean?
The people, are they developed? It's a question you need to change the answer or change the word.
He walked them into a vicious logic trap right here. This is like a logic bear trap, because to attempt to escape would even cause you great harm.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's subjective. The fact that you even differentiated it from being industrialized,
yeah, that's mine,
and developed, then it kind of becomes subjective because
one is if you say your country is underdeveloped, I'll ask you, are Nigerians developed? Nigerians, the people.
How do you mean?
The people, are they developed? It's a question you need to change the answer or change the word.
I can't answer that question because I can say are Americans developed?
I would say they are developed.
So
he's basically asking. He damn near challenged the basic modern level humanity, and I'm speaking in evolutionary terms, right? Because he laid it out in terms of developed, right? Are Ghanaians developed? That's the question he put on the table. And again, it's a bear trap kind of question, because you either argue that the Africans are fundamentally less developed in some way, or you have to concede the point. Yeah, they're developed. So if they're developed, why can't they develop anything? Oh God, Frank, why are you doing this? This is like hammer don't hurt him right now. Frank, that was rough, bro. You gonna put these young kids through this?
You need to change the answer or change the word.
I can't answer that question because I can say are Americans developed?
A baby can
I would say they are developed.
So developed people live in an underdeveloped environment?
Like I said,
it is the people who makes a place.
It's subjective because we have uncontacted tribes.
I applaud Frank for his bravery in this here. And he's going to get to the uncontacted tribes thing in a minute here. And I've noticed this a while ago. And I'm going to say this again, just in case you never heard it before. You heard it here first. The few remaining Stone Age tribes that exist in the world are all people of color.
They are not developed. They are very much.
Which part of them is not developed?
They don't have any type of infrastructure, no influence, no Western influence, not even there's no influence at all. So they live their life rurally. They live their life to their own means. They go and they hunt. They still hunt, and they hunt for their food, and they cook.
Their environment is not industrialized.
It's not. No.
That's right. The people can be developed. Their environment is not industrialized.
So fine, right? Now Frank he's allowing them grace in this trap. Yeah. So the people are developed, but we still haven't bridged that gap of why are these people who are fully developed unable to develop their environment? Because that's what you mean when you say industrialize. You have to develop the resources of the environment so that they produce a benefit for your people on a wide scale.
Don't say they are not developed. Say their environment. And I want to state to that. That is the only thing we've been crying about. The reason we are here in this cold country, we could have been in Nigeria, is because we don't have the things that makes people are dying from curable diseases because your hospitals can't even cure a broken finger. People don't have light in a country that was the 5th largest oil exporter to America. You can't manage a gas station in a country that has oil. You can, the River Niger, the Congo River, the Volta River, those rivers, Ghana.
Did you catch the brutality that just happened? Did you catch the brutality that just passed?
You can manage a gas station in a country that has oil.
You can't manage a gas station in a country that has oil.
Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
You can, the River Niger, the Congo River, the Volta River, those rivers. Ghana built its first hydroelectric power station built by Russians, Germans, and then finished by Russians using their Kosovo Dam. That is the first in Africa. It could have provided electricity to the whole of West Africa. It's just run by water. As soon as the Germans went home, we have not been able to maintain it. It's dead. The Ghana motorway was built by Germans, the first ever. Unbelievable motorway. 32 miles from Accra to Tema, and you can do it in just 20 minutes or 20, you understand? But it's been left unmaintained. It's all broken down till today. So let me share something with you. Every single colonized country in Africa, the day the British or the French left, they left behind post office, fire stations, metropolitan buses with air conditioning, bus stops, street lights, clinics, hospitals.
She's making that face again, y'all. She's making that face again.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Woo, hit that like button for me. Hit that like button for me. Hey, Acadia, how you doing, babe? Don't be uncomfortable. Don't be uncomfortable. We are walking in truth here. And shout out to the Rumble gang. I am way behind on my Rumble chats. So let me take a moment. I gotta go Rumble, y'all. YouTube guys, I will be back. I gotta go talk to my Rumble gang for a minute. Rumble gang, what's good? I see I've been behind on the super chat or the Rumble chats here. So let me talk to the Rumblers for a minute. The Midwest request with the $1 Rumble chat. Tiffany Henyard showed us all. You just need to pay off the goons and not the needy to keep power. Follow the coward state of mind when they have cope arguments. Yeah, I noticed that. And thank you for bringing up that word power. I realized that, being in the post-truth era, as I like to call it, it's all about power. And so when the argument presented to you doesn't make sense, try to imagine there's a power angle that you haven't really uncovered yet, and it'll start to make sense perhaps. And the Midwest request again with the $1 Rumble chat. Can we really blame him for drinking the woke piss aid while he is the last bold man waking up a scammed audience, trying to finesse a lane for himself? Like I said, I'm behind on the Rumble chats, but shout out to the Midwest request. Thank you for that. Anarcho Banker, with the $5 Rumble chat. He said, Chris Rock warned about taking the last big piece of chicken. I told y'all, the chicken is a sacred animal. You know how Indians are about cows? Black people are almost like that, but with chicken, though. Black people, we almost look at chicken the way Indians look at cows. It's a sacred thing. And that last piece of chicken has taken many a Black life. Like I said, that guy, he wasn't the first and he won't be anywhere near the last. The Midwest request, again with the $1 Rumble chat. What's funny is that they do not speak the language of their ancestors, wear their ancestors' clothes, have stopped participating their traditions, and now you speak on their behalf when you went left. Not only that, Pan-Africanism is even worse because you're not even like African, like you're not even a modern, current, active African, but you're a Pan-Africanist. It's a weird game. The whole thing is odd. But you know what they all needed? They all needed a guy like Uncle Frank to like have just simple, direct conversations with them and publicly, embarrass them a little bit, but respectfully. You know what I mean? You need an older, wiser guy to just sit the youngins down and just tell you how stupid you've been every now and then.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
But shout out to the Rumble gang. My apologies for falling so far behind on the Rumble chats. I've been entertained by myself. I got caught up in the work. My apologies. Won't let it happen again. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Let's get back to it all, you guys.
Count it up, count it up. Let's count all the money. Count it up, count it up.
Where are they today? You know why? Where are they?
Why?
So what are you saying?
You can't maintain them.
Are you saying
That's
these
not the
things
fault
come?
of the people, though.
Whose fault is it? It's not a fault. Capability. You don't have the capability.
So are you saying these things come with the people? Or are you saying it comes with, where you're from?
No. Human beings, environment makes you. The brain develops from what has been presented to you. That's it.
But that's mostly the fault of the leadership. And it's also hard if people come and give you something, you want them to accept it. And
do you know when you travel the 54 countries in Africa and ask?
I feel like this girl is just out of her depth in this conversation. She wants to do well, but she just can't connect she can't form the proper connections in her mind to really properly battle in this arena.
Each person in every country. What is wrong with your country? Leadership. Leadership. All of you say the same word.
But it's true.
So let me ask you, since 1960, the country has been picking the wrong leader every 4 years?
Not really. There was a time where it was still good.
What time?
After 1960.
That's correct, because the British left a lot of things you were enjoying for a few years and it all died. Not a single railway built by the British is in Nigeria today. But the one they built in their country that same year, it's still running. Not a single railway built in Ghana in 1960 is still there today. Why?
My village has a railway.
Oh, no kidding.
And it works.
Yes.
She really said that like it was something. And he was like, oh yeah, that's nice. Oh, you have a railway in your village. In China, they have like trains that literally pass through apartment buildings. Like technically you can just take your elevator to the 90th floor and catch the train downtown to work or something like that. But she has a village. She has a rail station in her village. And I love his reaction to that, like, oh, it's so nice. That is peak white, sardonic, what do you call that? He was being totally, what's the C word? Condescending. He was really being condescending just now. She's like, I have a railway station in my village. He's like, oh, that's so nice. Pat the monkey on the head. Oh my God, that was brutal. That was brutal. I'm sorry. That was mean. I shouldn't have said that.
You were enjoying for a few years and all died. Not a single railway built by the British is in Nigeria today. But the one they built in their country that same year, it's still running. Not a single railway built in Ghana in 1960 is still there today. Why?
My village has a railway.
Oh, no kidding.
And it works.
Yes. What was built recently?
No, it's just been there since. It was a leprosy center.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But you have railway lines in Lagos where people can go to places easily. You don't. Why? It's what I'm saying. What do you know in that country that has been properly maintained by the people every day and it works perfectly?
It's hard for people to maintain things when they're not gaining a lot.
No. It's hard for people to maintain things when they don't have the concept of maintenance in their culture. You speak Igbo?
Yeah.
What is the one word in Igbo for maintenance?
Maintenance is there's no direct English word for that.
Igbo word.
It doesn't translate directly to maintenance.
That's correct. How about you?
It doesn't translate.
That's correct.
Painful. Just painful. You don't even have a word in your language for what needs to be done.
Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah. You know the very concept of a boomstick? You realize how hilarious that is? Like, imagine showing up on the shores of some native territory, 200, 300 years ago, and you have this weapon, this rifle, this musket, or whatever, and it makes a sound that you could only relate to something like thunder. And so now these guys, first of all, they're all white. So there's that, they look how they look. And then they shoot, they point this thing at you and it talks in the voice of God. Like, holy crap. Could you imagine a boomstick? Can you imagine being the first guy to shoot a rifle at a primitive? You're the king instantly. You must have become the king like immediately. They gave you gold and virgins after that. It really was like what was that movie? Like the Army of Darkness or something like that, where he lost his hand, he had the shotgun hand. He's like, this is my boomstick. Like, I imagine that was a scene that had played out time and time again on different shores all over the world. Just some white guy with his era's equivalent to the name of Chuck. Some white guy named Chuck just walking amongst all the villagers. This is my boomstick. And now he's the king of the village. Oh my God, could you just imagine? You don't even have a word in your language for what I'm about to do to you. He's gonna boomstick me. Like, what does that even mean?
Igbo word.
It doesn't translate directly to maintenance.
That's correct. How about you?
It doesn't translate.
That's
to
correct.
Maintenance.
But it translates to like take care of.
No, that is not maintenance.
Well, it's not an English word.
You have to speak a sentence. But okay, what is the one word for repair in Igbo?
Imezie.
Exactly. What is the one word for repair in? You see?
You gotta laugh. Come on, bro. You gotta laugh because you see there's something going on here. This is why, as I even look at a lot of how language works, English is actually a supreme language in that it's very complicated. Learning English when you're starting from some other language, any other language, I understand how difficult it must be, because a lot of other languages, their syntax might be a little bit funny, but it's a more direct concept in a lot of ways, where with English and modern American English, there are a lot of ways to express yourself, right? But that's also what makes English such a powerful, useful thing, because there are a lot of ways to really get to the atomic level with description. And for a lot of languages, there's nothing that even approaches what the atomic level actually means.
I'm driving you to somewhere. What is the one word for democracy in Igbo language? You don't. How about you? You don't. You're trying to practice something that...
Right. You can't explain what atomic is when you don't even have a word for democracy in your language. And I know these are two totally unrelated concepts. One has nothing to do with the other, but I guarantee you a culture that has no word for democracy probably can't explain atomic theory either. You're a million words apart. Explain democracy first, and then I'll come back in a half a century.
That is not in the concept of the language. There is no African country, and I've done it through Kenya, I've done it all, that has an equivalent of the word maintenance.
Well, in order to maintain something, you have to have it first, correct?
No, if I leave it for you, you can maintain it. The British left a lot of things in this country when they left.
Yeah, it has to be established first in order for me to maintain something.
But they established the hospitals, they established the fire stations, the post offices, the railway lines, the roads they built before they left. You are not able to maintain it because you don't have that.
What is the Igbo word for hospital? I'm just throwing that out there. I don't even know. But shout out to Big Time with the $5 super chat. What is the word for maintenance in your language? Damn. I know, bro. This is the tough conversation that is just, it's hard to have these conversations because, you know, they don't have a word for maintenance in their language.
These blacks.
Shout out to Big Time. Thank you guys for supporting the show.
Concept. Because your environment, the tropical environment of Africa, the way you build your houses, the material you use, you don't require maintenance.
I'm a computer science major. So if I were to write a program, and she's a nursing major, if I were to write a program that was able to take intake patients, intake their names and information, I wrote that program and I gave it to her, not the application, but the program and scripts itself, and I gave it to her and I said, hey, this program is for patient intake. Just because I gave it to her and just because it has a purpose, a definitive purpose, doesn't mean she's going to be able to use it for as long as she wants. Why? Because I am the author. I am the creator. I didn't give her a set of rules. Hey, this is what it does. This is how you do it. This is the language it's written in.
All right, so maybe you are saying what I'm saying.
You're also low-key blaming the white man, saying that you never taught us how to maintain the trains in the railway system that you left behind. Always blaming the boogeyman. And shout out to Fifi.com in the Rumble chat with the $5 Rumble chat. He says, I feel like I'm looking at people still inside the proverbial cave Plato spoke about. This is definitely a Plato's cave conversation. Your feelings are guiding you correctly. .com. Here's the deal. Frank Zanu, this is the gentleman's name here. He is one of the black people who have not only left the cave, but he's bravely searched well beyond the bounds of the cave. He didn't just leave the cave, he searched the world. And he's now back in the cave to talk to the denizens of the cave about what's outside of the cave. And it's difficult at times. Well, it's you know, by construct, it's difficult to explain the world beyond the cave to people who've never even left the cave.
They left things for you.
They left. African countries wanted independence. They wanted to feel like they were amongst themselves, weren't in control by another nation. solely due to history, slave history.
I want to just focus on that answer for a minute.
This is the language it's written in.
All right, so maybe you are saying what I'm saying. They left things for you that you cannot maintain.
We wanted, African countries wanted independence. They wanted to feel like they were amongst themselves. They weren't in.
African countries wanted independence. They wanted to feel like they were amongst themselves. And I think that may be relatively true, but we're talking about a feeling, right? And here's the issue. What seems to have happened is these countries, to a man, every single one of these countries sacrificed maybe even a backdoor entry into modernity, but still nonetheless, they sacrificed their entry into the modern world for what was inevitably a slide backward. And the only question you really could pose is, was it really worth it? And can you ever regain what you lost for the sake of independence? And it's a tough question, right? It's a tough question. And so it's like, are you posing the question that without colonization, without a firm overwatching hand, will we never be even close to a first world nation? Or do we just accept that with our independence comes lack? With our independence, we just accept that we will never be a first world nation. These are bitter existential questions. I don't have the answers. I just like talking about these things.
Controlled by another nation, solely due to history, slave history, and things of that nature. And so African countries gaining independence and being left with all the things that we were using originally because we were under colonialism, of course there will be no maintenance or no proper maintenance without the people that were originally there in the first place. I think that we aren't able to maintain a lot of things in Africa or in third world countries because we weren't the originators or creators, but that doesn't mean...
So then how are you saying you're going to develop or industrialize your places if you don't know how to maintain stuff?
Because...
Now, that's an argument that is actually deep when he says, well, we can't really be expected to maintain it because we didn't originate it or create it. And yeah, maybe that's it. And that's tough, right? That's tough to accept. And that's it's an adult conversation to have, right? But what if really that's true? And I don't know that it's true or not. I'm not going to have that conversation here, but I'm just saying that is the thing. And it raises a deep question for the nature and the future of the continent. And remember, he didn't just raise this question and point it solely at the continent. He pointed this at all of the Black nations.
It doesn't finish, like life doesn't have to finish with the start, with the beginning.
So wait, every country that is called industrialized countries, today one of the things you know about them is maintenance of what they have. That's why we have buildings here that are about 250 years old, 300 years old in this country. There are buildings in other countries of Europe that are 700 years ago. The Notre Dame that burned in France was a 13th century building. Do you know what kept it that long till today? Maintenance is a culture.
So you're trying to say that
his struggle right now is palpable. Like I can feel it in my hands. And there's an emotional quantity to the struggle he's dealing with right now. And I almost feel sympathy, but I won't let myself feel bad because this is a need to happen kind of thing.
Years ago, the Notre Dame that burned in France was a 13th century building. Do you know what kept it that long till today? Maintenance is a culture.
So you're trying to say that in third world countries, from what I'm understanding, in third world countries, anything that is not under maintenance is because we don't care.
No, you care. It's not in the concept.
I'm from New York, or I live in New York. I grew up in New York.
Yeah.
We have our transportation system is like immaculate on a you know, structured.
What do you mean by our?
New York's.
Is this an African country?
System. Sorry?
Is that an African country?
No, it's not.
I'm talking about African countries.
But I'm saying.
And he really just called the New York transportation system immaculate? He really just called the New York City transportation system immaculate. Immaculate. Do you understand what the word immaculate means? What do you understand what the word immaculate portends? Do you understand all the levels of things that would have to happen before you could even be considered immaculate? He's calling the New York City transportation system immaculate. It's I can't believe that he's the New York City transportation system. New York City. You know what? All right, let me show you something. I gotta go now because I don't know what I did exactly with this post, but I know I have it somewhere. There's something that happened recently on this immaculate transportation system. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. I don't even want to, like, you know, build it up for you. But I'm flabbergasted. Every single one of my flabbers are thoroughly gasted right now. I can't believe I've never ever in all of my adulting, in all of my many years of adulting, I don't think I've ever heard such a statement about the New York City train system. Immaculate, he says. Immaculate. He calls it immaculate. Unbelievable. Like I said, all of my flabbers completely gasted.
Say this man performed sex acts on another man who died on an R train. NYPD officers responded to reports of a body on that train at the Whitehall subway station just after midnight. Say this man performed sex acts.
Immaculate. It's immaculate in there.
Say this man performed sex acts on another man who died on an R train. NYPD officers responded to reports.
It's immaculate in there.
Performed sex acts on another man who died on an R train. NYPD officers.
It's so immaculate in there. You can perform sex acts on a dead body. That is how immaculate the New York train system is. All right. Do you understand how immaculate that is? I don't even know what immaculate means anymore in its context, but we're using the word now. We're just going to use the word. I don't even know if the word has a meaning anymore, but it's immaculate in there. Big Time says, hey, Hood, can you pull up the subway system of Poland or Japan? I think China is pretty cool, too. But I don't think Poland or Japan is as immaculate as the New York train system, Big Time. Honestly, I don't even know if I want to try to play that game. I do not imagine China, Japan, Poland. I don't even think Russia has a train system as immaculate as the New York City train system right now. You understand how immaculate this place is?
Say this man performed sex acts on another man who died on an R train. NYPD officers responded to reports of a body on that train at the Whitehall subway station just after midnight. That was yesterday. When officers looked at video from subway cameras, Our police sources say they found the man in the yellow hoodie there sexually abusing the corpse, stopping only when passengers entered or exited the train.
It's immaculate in there, okay, you guys? It's immaculate. I don't even know what it means anymore. I just know it's immaculate in there. I don't want to use any other word to describe what just happened. If I use any other word, I'm going to stray into territory that'll probably be bad. But I do know I can say immaculate, and I can say immaculate a million and one times, and you'll just understand how immaculate it was in there. And shout out to the Midwest request with the $1 Rumble chat. It's nice to know we left the cave and acknowledge that it was stupid to be in the position of ignorance and subservience state to begin with. Yeah, but it's not immaculate in the cave, and that's why we have to leave. It's not immaculate in the cave, bro. I'm trying to find immaculate things. Shout out to Sigma Jones with the $2 Rumble chat. If NYC transportation system is immaculate, wait until he sees Tokyo. Oh, man. I don't think Tokyo is anywhere near as immaculate as this place, bro. This is like a wonderland. You understand how clean you got it, how immaculate you got to be? There's nothing like it, bro. There's nothing like it. Oh my goodness. Oh my good. I could, like I said, I was flabbergasted. Every single one, each and every one of my flabbers, bro. I had to do that. I couldn't believe what he just told me. I couldn't believe what I was hearing just now. Like, he really was like, no, it's
just structured.
What do you mean by our?
New York's system is like immaculate. Of our transportation system is like immaculate.
I couldn't. I was struggling. There was so much struggle, bro. But thank y'all for supporting the show, man. I appreciate you guys.
I need that money.
On a structured.
What do you mean by our?
New York's.
Is an African country?
System. Sorry?
Is that an African country?
No, it's not.
I'm talking about African countries.
But I'm saying that we have a system in place. We have a lot of people living in New York. It's not maintained by everyone. It's not respected by everyone, nor is it given the proper
I'm talking about the design and the understanding of what maintenance means in a culture. You live in the United States. Mm-hmm. Everything they build here is attended. They have more budget set aside for maintenance than they have for the building.
Okay.
In no African project ever have budget set aside after, because you don't have the word maintenance in your
No, it's because we don't have the resources for it.
You have the resources.
For example, this is why going back to leadership. For example,
when you
in
keep saying, let me
Nigeria-
tell you something, right? The pyramid, which part is larger, the bottom or the top?
The bottom.
Okay, the bottom. So you have 130 million Nigerians. You pick just few and put them at the top.
Oh, we didn't pick them.
Hold on. However they got to the top. The reason you're talking about them is because of where they are only mirroring what is going on here. Mm-hmm. Because you pick them from among you.
Very true.
No way if I toss a coin from 1960, it will keep falling on the head. Every single country in Africa says they pick a wrong leader every 4 years. It's impossible, Eileen.
But at the same time, there's a lot of corruption.
There is no corruption. I explained it to the first group. No African leader is corrupt. They are corrupted. Because what you are giving.
Whoa. He just blew my mind. He said they're not corrupt, they're corrupted. What does that even mean? They're not corrupt, they're corrupted. Oh, whoa, we gotta run that back. Slow it down for me. Slow it down. He's a smart black man. He's like speaking in gibberish right now. I don't understand what that means.
But at the same time, there's a lot of corruption.
There is no corruption. I explained it to the first group. No African leader is corrupt. They are corrupted because what you are giving them to do is foreign. Let me ask you, do you know a single political system in the continent of Africa that was originated from the people?
Do you know a single political system on the continent of Africa that was originated with the people? Man. 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 Why are you doing this? These are just children, bro. These are just children. He's just a boy.
No.
So how did you get your political systems?
Colonization.
Pardon me?
It's them through hierarchy.
No, the political systems you're using today.
Colonization.
Colonization. Why did you keep it when you know it's foreign?
Because that's all our ancestors knew.
No, they didn't know that. They were ruling themselves. The former administrations, the Oduduwa, the Benin Empire, they all have what they understood and what they can. You thought you want to be like the people who colonized you, so you accepted what they left behind. Do you know, until recently, you have to go to Britain to look at your constitution. So if there is no original political system,
you have to go to Britain to look at your constitution. I don't ever want to hear shit. You know what? I don't really like to get into the diaspora wars. And this may not even be fair because he said all you niggas, so he's talking about all the blacks too. But I don't want to hear shit from none of these Africans in the diaspora wars, bro. You have to go to Britain to look at your constitution. Bro. What are you niggas even on? You got to go to Britain to look at your constitution?
Oh, yeah. What happened to your sheriff? There's powerful niggardry at work here.
You got to go to Britain. You got to go all the way to the white man's house just to read your own constitution. Bro. I can't even say bro enough times. Bruv.
how do you expect Tinubu to understand it?
But there's certain things you can't change until a better person is there to help initiate
better person
that.
from among the people?
Yes, and it's very
Haven't
possible.
you seen enough from the time you got independence that if it keep repeating itself?
So who should we put, a British person?
so are you saying that-
have to. Like
are you
many
saying that
countries
we
did
should
it, when something is repeating itself, don't repeat the method. Nigerians should go back and say, this is not working.
But I feel like it's something you can introduce slowly by putting a better person in
After
there.
how many
who
years? Ghana is going to be 70 years. Every change happened in Singapore, Taiwan, Korea, Japan, all within 25 years.
This conversation just gets more brutal as it goes on. Like, bro, these are just children. Why are you doing this to them? I feel like after this conversation, you're just going to go home, strip naked, take all their white man clothes off, and just walk back to the village. She's just going to carry bags on her head and just walk back into her village naked, just ready to embrace pre-civilization. I feel like you just took all the wind out of their wings, bro. There's no more wind beneath their wings now.
It's hard to tell people to shift things from one.
No, I'm saying everywhere we've seen it. It's
Shout out to
25
Big
years.
Time. Thanks for the $2.
70 years since Ghana got independence in 1957. Yes.
I don't know what that means. Big Time says, I do. Cannibalism. I don't know what that even means, Big Time, but shout out to you. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Hit that like button, people.
Still waiting from 1960? 130 million.
Okay.
Well, that's 1960 is that's, my mom was born in 66.
Yes.
So the fact that countries were gaining independency.
Korea took 24 years to become a member
ago.
of the G20. I'm trying to tell you, what is happening on the continent has never happened anywhere. It doesn't take you that long to take from foreigners all the things they left behind. You are even lucky they gave you a start.
Let me pose a very difficult question to the chat, to everyone. Let me pose a very difficult question. Earlier in the show, I spoke briefly about the concept of the out of Africa theory, how a lot of the pro-blacks like to say that, we built civilization because, Mother Egypt and all that, the pyramids and whatnot.
Wait, what? Wait, now what's our motto? We was kings. We was kings!
Now, hear me out. I don't want none of you pro-blacks or none of you niggas with pro-black relatives and whatnot. I don't want to have to fight you niggas in public later on if you ever happen to bump into me and you know who I am. But let me just raise a dangerous question because, he's not the only black person that can raise dangerous questions. So I have a dangerous question of my own. I'm smart too, Frank. I'm not stupid like they say. But anyway, you know, shout out to Fredo. What if civilization didn't start in Africa? What if civilization was brought into Africa like it's being brought into Africa right now? Because it just seems unlikely. And by Africa, I'm not just talking about Egypt as a physical territory. I mean actual Black Africa, the actual Negroids. What if civilization didn't start with them? What if it was introduced to them? Meaning we're not the first, we're the last.
Black women are the highest educated group of women. They're the most enrolled in college per capita. But none of them can tell you what per capita means. They don't quite understand how that works.
I'm just throwing a possibility out. What if the story that we're told, what if it's a lie and the story actually went in reverse? What if it happened in the opposite way? What if we're not the first to civilize? What if we're the last?
And I said it from the start, this is advanced darkness. This is heart of darkness. This is the jungle drum. This is the fertility goddess of chaos. They're literally going to eat your balls. They're going to cut your fucking nuts off and eat them.
Whoa, what? They're gonna what? And shout out to Anunnaki, the one. I didn't just finally figure it out. I've just always been smarter than these niggas and smart enough not to say that type of shit on the bus in front of everybody. But I've been looking at things and I've been, you know, suspecting the story hasn't been told in the proper order because it just doesn't make sense. Otherwise, why would this conversation even be happening right now?
Okay, there's a couple of people, this is very controversial, but they call themselves Biafrans.
I know Biafrans.
You know about
Ojukwu,
them.
yes.
So they're trying to separate from Nigeria.
Exactly.
But you also want us to be united.
Who? Me?
You said Nigerians, because you were talking about, like with the others said, different languages being...
I just described what is there, the Tower of Babel. As long as you remain the way the British put you together, you're not going to build the tower.
So something like Biafra you think it's good?
Oh, that's not me to say.
But that would be the only other way.
Because when people come to a road of hopelessness, they want to try something. That's all. They don't understand.
It's better than them to just sit and watch things happen.
Listen, they don't.
I feel like this conversation is parallel to kind of like red pill conversations. This is like a race pill conversation in a lot of ways. He's attempting to like race pill these people in a way that, much like the red pill, you have to be willing to reorder your entire paradigm. You have to find a new prism through which to see the world. It tears down your fundamental constructs. But it's not terminal. You can survive this moment, but you have to be willing to rebuild.
They don't understand what they're talking about. They're just frustrated and they want to do something. That's it. That doesn't mean they have a plan. If they have a plan, they will implement it in their state. Look at South Sudan. It broke away from Northern Sudan 14 years ago, the newest and the newest republic on earth. As soon as they broke out from Southern Sudan, they are the worst place now. Every day bombing themselves, killing themselves. So Biafran can break away. They're not going to be anything. Because they don't even know what is going wrong. And that's all I'm saying.
You don't think that has to do with a fault in leadership?
What?
For example, North and South Sudan or South Sudan?
No, it's just them.
So a community is what makes a community, and however we act it influences how we grow.
Yes.
But we have a set system in place to make it so that we have one person in charge, a leader, a nation.
But what I'm saying to you is, it was left behind. You don't understand it. You just
it wasn't left behind for one person. It was left behind for everyone, and we have to appoint a person.
That's what I'm saying. The method by which you
the maintenance that you're talking about.
The method by which you pick your leaders was left behind by foreigners. It is from their culture, not your culture. So you're battling with something. Number two, you don't have a country in the first place. No one person. You ask, what is Ghanaians? What do they speak? They don't have. What is your history? They don't have. What is the culture of Ghana? They don't have. It depends on who you ask, but you are all in the same house.
Now, he's actually describing something that a lot of people have pointed out about Africa. The tribal lines don't match the national lines. And there's a fundamental problem in that too, because tribalism is sort of an evolutionary level of development. And in order for your nation to properly develop, the people individually have to see themselves as more than simply part of a tribe. You have to become a part of the nation state. And I don't know like what the process would even entail to kind of go from one thing to the next, but that's a fundamental shift. You have to see yourselves as more than just the tribe. Now, the tribe can form the nation, but you guys already have nations, and therein lies your problem.
The metaphor is in the Bible. The Tower of Babel. The only thing that changed was the language, and that was it. When the Ashantis were one and they spoke only three, they were building that kingdom.
I see what you're saying.
So we have to go back and take a look at the country and ask ourselves, who built Nigeria? Who built Ghana? Who built the Ivory Coast? You're all living in a guest house. Think about it.
So the fault lies in our own separation.
Well, your own understanding first. That's why I'm doing this. You got to have an understanding of why are things this way? Because you've reached a conclusion that is wrong. Our leaders, what leaders? Obama was president of America for 8 years and the country was able to run?
A shout out to my man Fifi.com in the Rumble chat with the $2 Rumble chat. He says the N and NPC is hitting different. Yeah, these kids are getting their NPC brains reprogrammed, and this is good. This is a healthy conversation. This is why I found a clip of this a couple weeks ago, and then SKC did a whole show about this over on Rumble. And I took note of it at the time, and I said, I got to find the whole thing. And then I found a lot of content from this guy. He's got a full YouTube channel, and I imagine similar conversations like this. And yeah, he definitely tries to reprogram the black NPCs.
The guy has never managed an ice cream parlor. Leadership? No. The people, 130 million, with only 453 in the parliament.
But the people don't really have much of a voice in Nigeria.
You don't need a voice.
In African countries.
Wait,
You know, so
if you
how are
have
we meant to-
do you think...
If you notice, he's practically yelling at them at times in this clip. This whole conversation, there's moments where he's practically yelling at them, which is, it's almost unheard of in the American kind of culture, because we don't really respect our elders in that way, so we don't really allow for that sort of thing. And then at the same time, he's taking a very fatherly kind of role in this conversation, where not speaking about these two kids in particular, but there seems to be this kind of cultural issue in Black America. We are the fatherless culture. And I think he, because he's speaking about Blacks broadly speaking, and what I'm getting to is that there is a sort of feminine, magical thinking with a lot of Black culture, basically across the board. And he is now attempting to address that, frankly, from a very open masculine position. And you just don't see this thing very often.
Mark Zuckerberg built Facebook because it has a voice. If you have the innovative power, okay. Internet was launched in 1996. Name one Black person in the entire world who has harvested it to build any internet product or service. Nigeria, the giant of Africa.
I don't know. I have to do my research. The same way I don't know about
Nobody in America
too.
would have told you they have to do research to know Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg.
And that's the only two I can mention off my head.
He's not wrong.
In Nigeria?
In America, I can't mention any other
Nigeria.
American one or word
No,
NVIDIA. That's all I know.
I'm asking you Nigeria.
I don't know. I have to do my research.
There is none.
You don't think that has to do with, like we were saying before, infrastructure, power, wealth?
Do you know a toilet bowl that is sold around the world and it was manufactured in Nigeria? Toilet bowl. What is the name?
Oh no, I don't. Oh, I thought you were saying.
Do you know?
You don't even make your own toilet bowls? And you know, the girl, she's giggling there because, you know, she's a girl and she's got clothes on. It's the best thing for her to do is just smile and giggle right now. But because every time she talks, she hurts her feelings. But I think what he's getting at, because a toilet bowl is a relatively insignificant thing to make, you would think, right? But as a nation, if you can't make your own toilet bowls, then how do you address plumbing and whatnot? It raises a deeper question, right? He who can't make his own toilet bowl hasn't worked out his own plumbing problem.
No, keke, bicycle. That was manufactured in Nigeria?
Wasn't it?
No.
It's Chinese, right?
Yes.
You don't make bicycles either? What's more important for a society, the toilet bowl or the bicycle? We're asking the deep, hard-hitting, philosophical questions here today. What is more important for a society, a toilet bowl or a bicycle? I mean, because Nigeria doesn't make its own of either, but I'm just curious. Like, if you had to choose which one you would pursue first, like if this was like Elder Scrolls and you only had a little bit of money to spend on the tech tree, do you go toilet bowl or bicycle?
Those are simple things, my dear.
So but educating us and telling us this point of view, okay? How is that gonna really help?
What?
Like giving us the mind, like you said, that's why you're doing this. Like explaining to us, giving us that mindset. How are we gonna? What are we gonna do to help? Like
nothing. Understand the problem first. You see, this I want.
Now she's frustrated. So she's exasperated right now. She's like, so what are we gonna do? We just gonna stay black? She's just frustrated. He just broke her right there. That was the moment. That was the moment right there. That's when you got her. Oh my God, that was look at it, look at it. Look at it right there. That's the moment. That is the moment. That's the perfect moment right there. He got her. It's like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Oh, she is broken on the wheel of logic. Oh God, I got tears in my eyes. What are we gonna do? The wheel of logic has broken another woman. Oh God, it's so good to see.
so but educating us and telling us this point of view, okay? How is that gonna really help?
What?
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
So but educating us and telling us this point of view, okay? How is that gonna really help?
What?
Like giving us the mind, like you said, that's why you're doing this. Like explaining to us, giving us that mindset. How are we gonna? What are we gonna do to help? Like
nothing.
Nothing. And immediately the first word out of his mouth is nothing. He said, there's nothing. There's nothing.
No more money for you. It's lazy. You lazy. You lazy. No more money for you.
He said there's nothing. God. God, he said there's nothing. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? He said there's nothing. Oh my God, there's nothing. There's nothing you can do. Oh, hell.
Good afternoon, boys and girls. Shut the fuck up.
Hey! Not nice.
No, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You need to leave? No, bitch.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You just disruptive. What the fuck am I supposed to do with you now?
Understand the problem first. You see, this, I want to do something. I want to help. Is what is damaging the place. First, understand the problem.
Staying in your role is what you're saying.
No, understand the problem. Doctors will diagnose you before they start curing you.
So then you're saying these countries can develop but first we have to understand what the root problem is.
Yes.
So they can develop.
No, that's not a conclusion you have to go to. It may happen that I can develop, doesn't mean I can do it. And I told you the fish. If the fish wants the fruit but can't climb, what will he do?
The monkey.
That's correct.
So we need help from other countries?
You have to make that conclusion.
Apparently, there is an African proverb where a fish wants some fruit, but he has to encourage a monkey to drop the fruit in the water first. Complicated African proverbs. I'm black, bro. Just make it simple for me, okay? Can you make it?
Give me cock, give me wife, give me children, give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, give me, kill my enemy, give me. Anyone that doesn't want me to succeed, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire. Give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, give me that, give me this, give me die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire.
I need things to be simple, you know? Giving me all these complicated half proverbs and stuff. I want it now, bro. I need it now. I'm black now. I need my problem solved now.
I'm just telling you.
I don't really think bringing in more.
Listen, I'm not the one to tell you. I led you to see that the conclusions you came here with, our leaders and resources, is bogus, and I've cleared it. So now you should rethink. And when you become a leader, you know it was not leadership. That's all I'm trying to do.
So then how do you change the people?
You don't change the people. They are what they are. It's up to you. I don't know. So you start a conversation, somebody might jump on it and say, you know, I never thought about it that way. It was only one person in the whole of Greece who says, no, this is the way we should interact with young people. Socrates. One person. The whole of the world, it was only one person who said the earth is not flat. Did they agree with him? No.
Where's your Nigerian Socrates? Where's your South African Plato? Where's Herodotus of Kinshasa?
I'm telling you, first think of these conclusions. They said only when they arrived there, they knew their country was underdeveloped. You said your leaders, you said resources, and I'm telling you all these answers are not true. They're not true. That you can do it. You can't do it. You can't.
So then I feel like from what you're saying, the only way, even if you're saying they can't do it.
So you can't do it. And you know what's terrible about this whole conversation? Not terrible, but what's unique and interesting really about this whole conversation? There isn't a white man on earth who's allowed to have this conversation in public. Not a one. Everything you love would turn to ash. There is not a single Caucasian anywhere in the world who is allowed to make this conversation in public. Only this nigga. He's the one. Frank Zanu is the guy. He's the chosen one.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
Develop, no African countries can develop. You're saying that the only way to develop is evolution and change, like deep-rooted change.
What change? By who?
Just evolution.
No.
So then
you have the resources and you want it to work, right? So you can have jobs and live well. And I keep saying to you, the fish can climb, but he can find a way to get the fruit. Hasn't that given you something to say, I understand what he's saying? When your Igbos came to your country, didn't they build it beautifully? Did you have anything before they came?
Yes.
What?
We had it. Oh yeah, I don't know.
What
That's a
did you
hard question.
You said yes so quick. What did you have before they came?
Because we didn't have nothing. You can't say we
No.
had nothing.
I'm not saying it. I ask you. What did you have before they arrived?
What do you mean? What did I have? You mean?
Oh,
like,
name it. You have the first hospitals built by Nigerians before the colonials came? Did you have pharmaceuticals in the shelves of Nigeria before they came?
This is why I posed the question earlier. You know, what if civilization was brought into Black Africa? We didn't actually make nothing.
But we don't
No,
get
but
any of
they
that
have-
because
I'm
of
asking, what
slavery.
did you have? What
we
did you
had
build?
herbal.
Herbal, okay, fine. Is that still working fine? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Cars, hospitals, houses, electricity, water supply, the herbals are doing it? No. But didn't you see how they built Ikoyi and Victoria Island?
What's herbal? Like herbal doctors?
No, I mean like medicine. Yeah. But there are also things that we had that were taken away.
Like what?
That were broken down, like Benin Wall.
You saw it?
No.
Then how did you know?
Because it was taken away.
No. Did you see a Benin Wall?
Oh my God. Before the white man came, we had a wall. We had a wall. That's the Negroes' Wailing Wall. It's the Benin Wall. We had a wall, you guys. White man had chariots and cathedrals and knights and armor and gunpowder and cannons. We had a wall. It was a mud wall too, by the way. I don't even think there was actual like stone or concrete. It was a wall of mud and wood. It was a wall. We had a wall. We had a wall. We didn't have a white man, but we had a wall.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
It was a wall. You understand how dope that was? You understand the epic, just the epicness of our melanated glory? We had a wall. You jealous Caucasian cracker. We had a wall, people. I want all the white men of the world to understand we had a wall. White man, do you hear me, white people? Do you hear me, Chad? Do you hear me, Becky? We had a wall. Okay, I want you to understand how dope, how epic the epicness was. We had a wall. And it was glorious. And then the white man came and we don't have a wall anymore.
Island?
What's herbal? Like herbal doctors?
No, I mean like medicine. Yeah. But there are also things that we had that were taken away.
Like what?
That were broken down, like Benin Wall.
You saw it?
The white man took our wall. God damn you. God damn you, white people. You damn it, white man. Why would you take our walls, white man? Don't you have enough? You had castles. You had aqueducts. You had dikes. You had all kinds. Did you need to take our walls? Did you not have enough, white man? You had to take our walls too? God damn it. We could have had it wall. We could have had it wall. We were rolling in the deep. We could have had a wall. Rolling in the deep. Goddamn white man, we could have had a wall. Fucking hell, man. We could have. I'm crying for the wall right now. You gotta understand. I'm hurt. I'm hurting for the wall. We could have had a wall, okay? And Adele could have been doing a concert in front of it. She could have been singing. We could have had a wall. These fucking white men, you don't let us have anything, and I hate that about you. Shout out to Clue Studio with the $10 super chat. He says you need a Netflix deal, hood. Nah, if I got on Netflix, they would just make me fake and gay. They would make me white and gay if they put me on Netflix. That's how Netflix does. They ruin everybody's story when they put you on Netflix. I wouldn't trust Netflix with my story. Matter of fact, they wouldn't even make me white. They would make me African and gay. I would not trust Netflix with my story, but I appreciate the thought, though. I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm not going to Netflix. Damn that. Damn that. I'm not going to be African and gay for all the money in the world, Clue. But shout out to the Clue Studios, man. Be like Clue. Smash that super chat button for me, y'all.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! You make Hulk angry! You not like Hulk angry! Hulk no like fighting girls.
God damn, I'm still crying. I have tears in my eyes over the wall you guys took. White man, I just want you to know, like, I might be smiling on the outside, but on the inside, I'm always crying about the wall that you stole from us. We only had the one. I mean, it wrapped around in like this one giant circle, but it was one wall and it was ours. It was black, had little fist up on the ramparts and everything, and you stole it. You just took it. It's probably in a museum somewhere now.
Victoria Island?
What's herbal? Like herbal doctors?
No, I mean like medicine. Yeah. But there are also things that we had that were taken away.
Like what?
That were broken down, like Benin Wall.
You saw it?
No.
Then how did you know?
Because it was taken away.
No. Did you see a Benin Wall?
Did I see it?
Yeah. No. Then what are you talking about? Benin Wall? Wall gives people food and water?
I'm saying there's some infrastructure.
Like what?
Like that was
Benin Wall. What wall?
Just like how there's China Wall, the wall.
It was our great wall, you bald hater. You are a bald black hater, and our wall was great. And I don't want to hear all this wall slander anymore, okay, damn it. It was our great wall, and that's all there is to it.
The Great Wall of China, there was a Great Wall of Benin.
What is Benin?
The Kingdom of Benin.
Has a wall.
It had.
God damn it, this hurts. This fucking hurts. This hurts. I'm gonna lose a rib. God, they're gonna take they're gonna take my spleen after this show. This shit hurts so bad. First I said, what is a Benin? I don't know what a Benin is either. Is it like some kind of tumor? What is a Benin? Is it a kind of sandwich? Could you go to the store and order a Benin and then they like put bread and meat in that little iron thing and they press it down and you get like griddle mark? Is it a Benin? Can you get a Benini? Why is he so brutal? Why is he so brutal? Stop it. These are just children, you son of a bitch. These are just children. Stop. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? This is not fair. This is not right. What is a Benin?
Emotional damage. You want some therapy?
What is a Benin? What is a Benin? He's like, what's a Benin? They had a wall too? Nigga, stop lying. He don't believe that shit. He African and he don't believe in African greatness, bro. What is this we're watching? What is this we're watching, bro? How you an African and you reject African greatness? What is this? What is it? What are we even doing now? He's like, what's a Benin? What's a wall? They had a wall in Benin? Are you proud of that shit? God damn it. I couldn't have done this any better. I couldn't have done this any better. I couldn't have wrote this script if I wanted to. You couldn't have paid me to write this any better than this.
But didn't you see how they built Ikoyi and Victoria Island?
What's herbal? Like herbal doctors?
No, I mean like medicine. Yeah. But there are also things that we had that were taken away.
Like what?
That were broken down, like Benin Wall.
You saw it?
No.
Then how did you know?
Because it was taken away.
No. Did you see a Benin Wall?
Did I see it?
Yeah. No. Then what are you talking about? Benin Wall? Wall gives people food and water?
I'm saying there's some...
Can you eat this wall? Is the wall edible? I'm sorry. God damn it, my side hurts. I'm gonna have to call the doctor. I'm gonna have to call a doctor. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. It really hurts. You can't. Can you eat the wall? You're telling me about this stupid wall. You people are starving.
Infrastructure.
Like what?
Like that was
Benin Wall.
infrastructure.
What wall?
Just like how there's China Wall, Great Wall of China, there was a Great Wall of Benin.
What is Benin?
The Kingdom of Benin.
Has a wall.
It had.
You saw it?
No. Because
Okay.
it was broken down.
And if the wall was still there to provide water and electricity and housing and hospitals?
It's just an example.
Okay, give me a better example. Things they took away because that's why you're dying in the hospitals. You don't have.
Could you fly the wall? If the white man left you alone, could the wall fly? Just I don't know. I don't know how magical Great Walls work. I'm just, if the white man had never come to Africa, could the wall fly? That's a serious question. You guys probably think I'm being funny or not. No, I'm not being funny at all. Like, if the white man had never come to Africa, could the wall fly? Because that would have been dope. That would have been dope. No bullshit. That would have been really dope.
We don't have power. We don't have resources.
You don't
we
have
don't have money. We don't have wealth.
No, nothing. Nothing.
And those are all things needed in order to develop. So who's to say if we didn't get those things, we couldn't develop?
I don't understand what you are saying.
I feel like we have resources.
You do, but you can't use them.
Why can't we use them?
Because you don't have the capability.
Why don't we have the capability?
Because the environment in which you evolve doesn't give you that capability for industrialization. You don't need it because you're in a tropical environment. Hey guys, thank you so much being with us for another episode with these wonderful people from the university.
She hates him now. In all her body and soul, with every one of her overweight pounds, she hates him now. Every one of her extra pounds hates him double.
Hey guys, thank you so much being with us for another episode with these wonderful people from the University of Bridgeport. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like us, love us. Until next episode, I'll see you again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
She only date white boys now because of Sandu. Oh God, this was so brutal. I don't even know how the other half of the conversation went because, like I said, this was a part 2. So the part 1, I kind of just skipped right over because I got a glimpse of part 2, and I felt the brutality in the couple of minutes of it that I watched, and I couldn't imagine how good it was. Was it as good for you as it was for me? I know, what an odd question to ask, because that was brutal, and I rarely get to watch a brutality like that live on air. It was for every one of us to witness, and rarely is a brutality like that, recorded and displayed and distributed to the world, especially when, we're crushing black girl magic and all that stuff. Like, I mean, wow. I couldn't believe the brutality of it all. And I had to share that with the world. And now that we've shared this moment together, this is why I had to ask, was it as good for you as it was for me? Because that was brutal. That was tough. That was difficult to get through. There were moments in there that were touch and go. I didn't know if I should keep the show going. I thought maybe I should just end it all right now and make my peace with it. But I kept pushing through. Because I felt like if I stopped, we would never survive. It was one of those things, the only way out is through. You can't go back. You just have to go ahead. You have to keep moving forward. There is no turning back. You can only keep moving forward in these moments. And that's kind of how that's how we survived together. We kept pushing forward. And so I think it was a good thing. I think we did a really good thing. I think we learned some things here. We laughed. I cried. I don't know if you cried, but I cried. And we grew together like a family. And we got down to the heart of a really tough conversation. I think I haven't spoken to Frank myself, obviously. I maybe would like to speak to Frank a little bit more to ask him these conversations. Because, you know, he was fighting children. And come on, Frank, these are babies. They're not capable of handling what you're giving to them right now. And I think that might have been unfair. But I'm willing to engage with Frank on this because I'm willing to, you know, buy into what Frank is selling. And I'm willing to believe Frank a little bit. That being said, though, I think we've come to the end. We've come to the conclusion of that particular chapter. But we're not done. Don't you leave. Just because I'm putting the link in the chat doesn't mean you guys get to quit and go watch something else. It's still race day. Today is race day. It's not done. Race day is not over. But we're going to move this show slowly over to Rumble. So in another 10, 20 minutes or so, we're going to rumble this thing out. That's what we're going to do. So all the brave people left over who I see in the Rumble chat, I salute you now ahead of time. But before we do that, because today's race day and we have this giant racial issue hanging over everybody's heads, we got this, you know, 500-pound racial gorilla in the room right now. We're going to have the race conversation. I'm not really, excuse me, I'm not really interested in having endless debates about the Metcalf situation and whatnot because I bore easily. I tire. I do. I tire of things. But we do want to talk about race. We do want to talk about race in America. And especially after the conversation that we just witnessed, I want to talk about Black people's racial feelings in particular. We're going to talk about some other things, perhaps. I'm actually digging in the crates right now, pulling out all the second act content. Got a lot of content. Got a lot to deal with on the second act. We're gonna cover just a little bit of that while we're still here together on YouTube. But we got a lot to cover about race realities. We're gonna have a race realism conversation. We're gonna have a real conversation about race and feelings, racial feelings and attitudes in America. But mostly from the Black side, though. Mostly from the Black side, because, you know, can't let the white people talk about this too much. It's dangerous. White people start talking about race to get a little too spicy and creative.
Hi, this is Rachel Olajal sending congratulations to the 13% crew for hitting 55% this year. That's amazing. When 13% of the company does 55% of the work, you deserve recognition. But truth be told, it's really more like 6% getting it done. So you know who you are. Congratulations on your success. And this message is from your regional manager.
Shout out to the 13% crew from the regional manager. Shout out. You guys didn't even know the regional manager took notice of you. Well, I'll have you notice that the regional manager noticed you.
Hi, this is Rachel Olajal sending congratulations to the 13% crew for hitting 55% this year. That's amazing. When 13% of the company does 55% of the work, you deserve recognition. But truth be told, it's really more like 6% getting it done. So you know who you are. Congratulations on your success. And this message is from your regional manager. Hi, this is Rachel.
Yeah, it is race day, and we're going to get into it. We're going into overtime, people. How long has this been? Oh, we're hitting the 3-hour mark. I got at least 2 more hours left in me. And we're only 3 hours in. I got at least 2 more hours. I don't know how long it's going to take to get through the content I got lined up, but I got time and I got energy. I got space. We got everything we need right now. It's race day.
So you're saying black folks created that name white supremacy?
That's correct. From Africa, because we are just amazed by the things they've done. Well, we describe them always by inventions. That's all. They can command water from far away through tubes into their bedrooms. We can even fetch a bucket of water from the next lake. You will be drowned. They can put electricity. We never had one in Africa. They have airplanes fly over us. It's amazing. Everything they've done is the reason my people say these people are superior, not because of slavery. They came to colonize us and they brought things we have never seen before. They gave a king a mirror and he was dancing and sold his people away. They brought guns we have never seen, boom, and killed somebody right away. You know what they used to do in the Congo?
Right.
They put dynamite in the rocks and then they hide the switch. And then when they point their finger, it go boom. And the Congolese till today, they call the white man kiboom, the sound of the dynamite. And then they go down and they go like this. If they're not superior, why do you see every picture when the white men arrive in Africa, we're bowing to them? We have never seen a gun kill a human being. We have never seen a mirror. We have never seen a radio tune in and somebody speaking from England, the Queen's voice. So for us, all these things, these people must be really superior and close to God. They used to have a joke in Ghana that when God said, let's pray, the white man opened his eyes. The black people were covering his eyes. So the white man saw how God created the world. That's why they are so good at what they do. And I'm telling you, these are folklores from which we grew up. If anyone told you that white people came to Africa to tell us they're superior, it's a lie. They never said that.
Yeah, like I said, it is race day, people. It is race day. We are talking about the unspeakable. And now we are going to have a conversation about Black culture.
Since he became a father, he just came to appreciate growing up in a two-parent household. Actually, it was a label that he didn't really want to talk about because it wasn't streaked. And he didn't tell you he went to private school, and we had that was
Jadakiss. His name is Clarence, and Clarence's parents had a real good marriage. Yeah, and he went to private school. Jadakiss is goddamn Clarence from 8 Mile, bro. How the hell did that happen?
Since he became a father, he just came to appreciate growing up in a two-parent household. Actually, it was a label that he didn't really want to talk about because it wasn't streaked. And he didn't tell you he went to private school, and we had that wasn't that nigga that started something.
Look at this shit. Look at it.
Since he became a father, he just came to appreciate growing up in a two-parent household.
Shout out to the two-parent households. You know, every now and then, I guess you get a Carmelo Anthony thing, but generally it's the better deal for Black people. But Black people, do you have a problem with white people? If so, there's a number you can call.
Just minutes left, and Nicholls freshman Nate Tenaglia takes a three-point shot and makes it. But then, out of nowhere, a Fitchburg State player knocks him to the ground with an elbow to the face.
Ooh, personal foul there against Platt.
Keywan Platt was tossed from the game for that cheap shot.
What the hell, Keywan? Keywan, what's your problem? I don't think that was a basketball move.
In the ghetto, in the hood, in prison, there's the law of the jungle. You put your hands on somebody in prison or in the ghetto or people that have a prison mentality, they get to respond violently. And so I tweeted back at the guy, the law of the jungle. Some people don't want to live in the jungle and don't want to be around people who adhere to the laws of the jungle. Prison mentality, avoid it. And so here's the disconnect of there seems to be a group of people that want to live by the law of the ghetto, and they can't understand how anyone else doesn't obey their rules. And when I look at this and I read this and I see a lot of people promoting this idea, I'm just like, how do you deprogram people from a destructive mentality that they've adopted to survive in the environment that they know, and then they move out to Frisco, Texas, or anywhere else and say, hey, we got to play by these rules. The law of the jungle, the law of the ghetto. This is what applied in this prison mentality, prison culture that I'm involved in, and I'm going to bring it out to Frisco, Texas. And Austin Metcalf is going to learn. You put your hands on me, I get to stab you in the heart. And there are people affirming this.
Yeah, Fuentes and Whitlock had a little back and forth on Twitter. We're gonna cover that in a minute. We're gonna get into all that, but right now we're talking about the blacks. There is well, Whitlock says it's culture. That's really the fundamental beef between Whitlock and Fuentes. Whitlock says it's culture, and Fuentes says it's deeper than culture. It's something else. And Whitlock took offense to that, and he started talking all crazy about the kid. And I don't know if Fuentes is totally wrong, but when Whitlock, he was looking crazy. He was looking crazy.
And I understand why people are like, how do I make peace or find common ground with people indoctrinated into this prison culture mentality? It's hard. It's impossible. I don't want to live in that environment. And I don't want you bringing that environment to me, my neighborhood, my experience. I don't want to do that. No one does. You can't have a real human civilized society. That rule can apply in the jungle among animals. It can apply in prison. But I take steps trying to avoid prison because I don't want to live in that environment. There's a real disconnect here. And and perhaps, and I get the people that's like, well, separation is the only answer. And then,
well, the fact that a lot of Black America right now are basically saying that if you touch me at all, for any reason whatsoever, I do have the right to stab you in the chest. That sounds like prison rules. And it sounds like a lot of Black America is just okay. We've just become accustomed to prison rules, apparently. And I don't think that's really healthy. And to take it a step further, other non-Black people are probably right to not want to live next to the prison rule population. If your culture generally operates with the same kinds of rules and values that are common in the U.S. prison system, it's probably not a culture that other people want their culture to be rubbing shoulders with. I don't really want my kids adopting your values.
and they go, segregation is the only answer. And I get it. The Bible tells you, come out from among them. That pagan world, come out from among them. The Bible tells you that.
Now, lucky for me, I am not algorithm monetized yet, So I can play this next video without any real channel problems as far as I know. But you're going to have to watch the screen because I'm not going to actually say all the words in the video. Actually, you know what? I'm going to hold that for a minute. I think I might hold that just for a minute. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to hold on. Keep my powder dry. I'm keeping the powder dry. Because the conversation at hand is about the black-white racial sentiment. And we're really going to get into that when we get over onto Rumble. And we're just a few minutes away from Rumble. We're not quite there yet. We're going to rumble really hard in a minute. Let's listen to this crazy Negro for a second. How
White
about that?
supremacy has reached its highest form in that it no longer needs a law in order to survive. The very cultural, symbolic capitalist mode of doing production and redistribution allows them to live out their racist attitudes without saying them. So they're able to deny you a loan, they're able to deny you access to a school without saying you are black, without saying because you are black, but using other mechanisms. You don't qualify, you're not yet good, go and maybe try, this type of course before you come. Are you educated?
White man magic. This is all white man magic.
Without saying you are black, without saying because you are black, but using other mechanisms. You don't qualify, you're not yet good, go and maybe try, this type of course before you come. Are you educated? I mean, the painfulness of education in South Africa is that we're led by a lot of illiterate whites, a lot of dropouts. And when a white person has dropped out from school, it's natural. They become rich. We clap hands, mawe. We celebrate. But how many black people who drop out of school don't even get anywhere close to a bank to get a loan, anywhere close, or be even entertained by investors? They will need another white person if they've got a real, genuine, product that white people want to exploit. They will need a white supervision in order to be included in the social capitalist forms of living.
Let's see what happens when a black guy visits the white enclave of Orania in South Africa.
This is Orania. He just greeted me. Everyone's waving. Everyone is waving. Okay, that's confusing.
Are you nervous to go there and be the only black person in Orania?
Nervous is not the word. I think uncomfortable. But everyone has been telling me, stay safe, stay safe. I'm not scared at all. I've been in crazy places before, so I don't feel unsafe. But I feel it's going to be different and uncomfortable. Big cars, Orania flag, doors are just open, no gates. There is a statue of Hendrik Verwoerd, the architect of apartheid. Okay, there's kids. Kids are just walking around. They're kids just walking around. So it's definitely as safe as people think it is. Bicycles is hanging up, not locked. It feels different. It really does feel different. You can feel that this is not, it's South Africa, but not South Africa. This is Orania.
South Africa, but not South Africa. I wonder what's different about this one particular part of South Africa where this South African guy, he says, this is South Africa, but it's not South Africa. I wonder what's missing. I wonder what, there has to be like a key ingredient. You know what I mean? Like a key ingredient in chocolate milk is chocolate. And, thinking along those lines, right? I'm just wondering what's the key ingredient missing from Orania's chocolate milk? I don't know. I wish I was a smarter man. That's really my sadness in life is every now and then I hit moments in life. I have times where I just, and I'm not afraid to say this publicly, but sometimes I wish I was a smarter man. I don't know what's missing. I just can't place it. I just if I were a smarter man, I would understand this and interpret it earlier. What would and tumor earlier? You know what the word? I would just get it. I would just, because if I were a smarter man, I swear to God I would. But if only I had a brain. If only I had a brain. Poor me. I think now is the time to wind this YouTube half of the show down. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm halfway through. Halfway out of steam. Closing time is 3 a.m. and it's about 12 o'clock midnight now. The night's almost done. But we're not done yet. We're not done. We're so not fucking done. If you leave, you suck, and your mama hates you. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to play one last video as we wind this show down, and we're going to move over to Rumble. That's the game plan. That's been the game plan. That was always the game plan. That's part of the plan that we're at right now. We're going over to Rumble. Wake the fuck up. Stop being a little pussy. Click the link in the chat. We're going to Rumble. But before we leave, I got one last video to play for you guys. It's a play out video. I'm going to play us out. That's what we're going to do. Because I thought this thing through. I had layers. I had a storyboard for this stuff. I got a wall with plans and charts and a whole storyline. I got a narrative that I created for you niggas. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, and we're not done doing it yet. I didn't even know what I was going to do, but I'm not done doing it yet. And we're going to do the rest on Rumble. And so what I need you to do is hang in there for one more minute. I got one last thing to play for you guys. And then we're going to go have the real race conversation over on Rumble. And we're going to start out talking about Jason Whitlock and Nick Fuentes and their little beef. I appreciate all you guys on YouTube hanging out with me, following me this long. Thank you so much. We've put in 3 hours of work and we're not done. It's 3 hours. I'm going to do this like a work day. Do this like a regular job. I'm going to put in a full shift here, but we're not done yet. Shout out to everybody listening on YouTube. I got one last thing to play for you guys, and then we're out. Shout out to the algorithm and all the YouTube censors. Bite me.
Choose it. There ain't no way we'll lose it.
All right, follow us over on Rumble. Welcome, welcome. Shout out to Anton with the $2 Rumble chat. Anton is the Pope of our Church of Misogyny. If you didn't know, he was the founding member, so we had to build this church on his shoulders. We joined it. We gained a new member today, Anton. Shout out to I think it was You Ain't Wrong. We gained a new member to the church today. Appreciate all the church members. We're gonna give you guys some church exclusive content. I will tend to my flock. I appreciate each and every one of you guys joining the church. We are going to conclude this portion of the show. We're moving over to Rumble. The link is in the chat. We are going to talk about Black people's racial feelings toward white people. That's what we're going to talk about. That's it. That's the show. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing more to it. Why we're going to talk about that? One of the things I realized in listening to the defense of Carmelo Anthony, there are a lot of Black people who, one, have either a severe disdain, a straight up dislike, a hatred even for white people. And so they defend Carmelo Anthony on those terms. And then there's some Black people who are a little bit closer to the middle in the sense that they perhaps mean well. They perhaps don't want bad things for white people. They want good things for most people. But just the same, they don't really understand the era of white lash that we're entering into, which is why we want to talk about Nick Fuentes and Jason Whitlock first. So actually, I got one last thing to give you guys before we, you know what? Screw it. Hit the link. We're going to Rumble. Appreciate everybody on YouTube. Follow us over to Rumble. Jason Whitlock versus Nick Fuentes. How do Black people really feel about white people? Show's over. It's done. Appreciate you guys. I'm out of here.
Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.